afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Trekking Across the Universe on Sunday night here on NDB Media. Of course, it's becoming to be a lot of fun. We weren't expecting to be on at this hour, but we're covering all the episodes that have happened this week. As you know, we cover Star Trek Lower Decks. We cover The Ring of Power, the Amazon Prime series. We also cover the new Disney program, Star Wars Andor. And, of course, why we're here. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting to it. Ines, wow, you're already in the chat room, Ines. Thank you. So, let me do this, Ines. You were on with us last time. Let me bring you aboard. And thank you. So, I'm going to put it over in the chat room. And, Ines, go ahead and click on that link, and you're more than welcome to join us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm back from vacation, ready to go. And what did I do? I indulged my boob tube senses today. I went wild with everything on TV. But hey, we'll get to it. I'm Lord Roger. You know who I am. That's Lord Michael, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't change it.
You never change anything.
I know.
But it's all good. But Michael, we have a guest today on with us. Why don't you go ahead and introduce
yourself? But it's kind of a special guest because
really?
Well, yeah, it is because I kind of met him. He's going to be our guest in 2 weeks on Monday Night in America.
No,
yeah,
really,
yeah. And Jesse Arthur Carroll, he's an actor, a voiceover actor, and so we're going to go into detail in 2 weeks. However, I mean, I was chatting with him the other day, and I said, "Oh, do you like House of the Dragon?" "Oh, I love it." And so
it sounded like
yeah, I tried to do a good voice impression of you, but
that was perfect.
Yeah, so
you had it bang on.
Good. Yeah, then maybe I get a job then, right? Yeah.
This is great, folks. This is fun. So we actually have our guest that's going to be on October 17th, I believe, either at 6 or 7 p.m. I'm not sure. What time did you schedule it, Michael?
6 o'clock your time.
Oh,
9 o'clock our time.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are on the East Coast. Oh, understood. Yes. Well, it is, let's see. Actually, surprisingly, it's 72 degrees outside, which means it's 82 degrees in here. So that's why I had to hit the AC system and stuff on. But we're all ready to go. Ines, she was on with us last week, another Game of Thrones fan. She might actually have her husband, Wilson, on with us as well. So we're going to have a big old party. But, folks, let's get this happening. We already have quite a few people watching us. We already have a like. Valerie Kasky. Thank you, Valerie, for the like. And this is absolutely awesome. So, Jesse, dude, seriously, all kidding aside, I'm blown away. Thank you for this. You are a fan. Dude, tell us, you're watching Game of Thrones. You haven't had a chance to comment on any of the other episodes. So before we get to episode 7,
right?
What are some of the highlights? I know we were talking about this.
Episode 3, that was my favorite. It was called The Rogue Prince, I believe was the name of the episode. Episode 3, where Damien storms the beach at the end of it, and he takes out the crab feeder. That was one of my favorite episodes of all time of Game of Thrones. I think it's probably up there. Maybe some people will agree, won't agree. Battle of the Bastards, it reminded me of that episode. Not quite as action heavy, but it was up there for me. I didn't expect that because Damon's sort of been kind of a piece of crap throughout the episodes until then, and I was like, oh my god, this guy can kind of he's bad, but he's also good. He's courageous, but you can't trust him. He's a snake. It's he's really hard to nail down. So that was one of my favorite episodes, definitely. I thought the last episode was a bit of a snoozer. They did the time jump. I didn't totally get it at first or where it was going. It seemed a little bit convoluted. Kristen Cole looks exactly the same as he did 10 years ago, but everybody else has changed.
Right.
And then like Viserys is like a walking skeleton. Like in 10 years, come on. So some of that stuff was kind of bugging me, but this episode, it really got to me. I liked it a lot.
Actually, this episode may be the only one that really did not have a time jump of any real significance, because every episode has been either 6 months or 10 years. This was what I would assume it would have been a few days or a few weeks. I wouldn't call it a time jump. It was the funeral for Lyanna, right?
Yeah, I hope it was a few days. A few weeks later, and that casket's going to get a little smelly. I don't know where they'd be keeping it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Now, I don't know how, right. I was a bit surprised that it started off with the funeral. It was very serious. Right away, you realize, the hand of the king. Well, of course, we know what happened.
Yeah.
But in the prior episode, and right away we see Lord Hightower is in the episode, and he's got it. I was like, oh, he's back. That happened kind of fast. So now it goes to see that no matter what, I guess Allison got her way. I don't know why. It's not explained as to why he returned, but do you have any ideas? Is Michael or Jesse?
Well, the only thing I can think of is when the people went out to do the murderings of everyone. I thought it was kind of understood that this was happening so Hightower could come back, because the king would want a hand, and there wouldn't be anybody there except for his previous hand. I mean, that's what I remember, but I might be totally off base. But that's kind of what I thought. I thought it was kind of done so he could come back and be the hand of the king again.
I was stunned, Jesse, when because I missed it. I did not realize Allison was the one responsible, with Barris, of course, doing it to kill off. I guess it was his brother and his dad, right?
Yeah.
I was stunned. Did that really get you? I know I did. I was like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It stunned me. I don't know what to say.
I actually saw it on the rewatch on that episode because I had missed a little bit in games. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. But in this episode, there was a lot going on. I'm not going to ask for any of the grades or ideas until the very end, but wow. I thought it was interesting how they were having the conversation, and I believe the dad bitch slapped the what's his name, Laenor's lover, and said, "Hey, go get your patron. He should be up here," because I think he sees him out there in the water, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing. I imagine he was in sorrow, but he might have been taking care of business. I don't know, but his dad he's rather pissed. And then later on, they talk about the gods can be cruel. And then, the king tells them, "Look, I want you back in my court. Look, let's forgive everything, and I need you back. There's a place for you. Yeah, there's a place for you in the court."
And then Daemon was like, "I don't need anything from you at all."
Yeah, and he tells them, well, first, I think Viserys tells him, the gods can be cruel, but we can get past this. And Daemon says, "Yeah, he's been pretty damn cruel to you."
Yeah, he's full of zingers, huh? That guy's like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, it was right. He says Daemon needs nothing from the king. And then, of course, Hightower comes over, expresses his sympathy. And then we find out Aegon,
mm-hmm.
I guess, who would be the real heir if we follow the way they do things. He's, I don't know. Does he really care? It doesn't look like it.
It's Game of Thrones. It's funny because you'll see characters a lot that will start off not caring or being complacent or being jerks, and then they all of a sudden change over the course of seasons to be something completely opposite of what they were before, and sometimes change back after that. So it's really hard, I think, this early in the series to say what any character is going to be like. Like even Rhaenyra in the first couple episodes, I was like, oh, she's like a sweetheart. She's going to be, and then she ends up being tough as nails. She's making out with her uncle in a brothel, and and then obviously in this episode, on the day that his wife, like the funeral was, they're like sleeping together on the beach. Then she like plots to like have her husband killed,
Yeah, and we can jump right to that. Michael, you have seen the episode, right?
Oh yeah,
dude. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the entire episode, but Jesse, you already jumped to it. It didn't dawn on me. Okay, all right. At the very last scene,
yeah,
the guy jumps in the boat for some stupid reason. I didn't really get a good look. I thought it was Laenor's brother, and I'm like, okay, Laenor's brother is gonna get revenge. And then, well, Michael, did you know who it was?
Not at first.
Me too. I didn't know who it was.
I was
Laenor is
so
above.
stunned.
Jesse, what did you think? I mean, were you expecting that?
I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't surprised either. I kind of thought, like, when they were like creeping up with the camera to the fire, I'm like, that's not gonna be him. I'm like, that's not gonna be him.
You did
And then
know
they were
that.
crying. Then they were crying. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it is him, but it wasn't very definitive. And then I see them jump in the boat. I'm like, yeah, I'm right. It wasn't him. They just, I thought it was. I know that it's famous for killing off important characters right away, but I was just, that guy's story wasn't told at all yet. Wouldn't make sense. And
I did enjoy. Sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah. And then it turned out he did live.
Now,
That was his brother that was in the fire then?
I don't know. I think
the guy who was Damien's cracked his neck when he was coming in. Was it that guy? Right before that scene, he's going in to like kill off the guards so he can get in, and then he's does like the, I don't know, the CIA move on the guy.
damn it, I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again too.
Yes, I'm gonna have to
'Cause
watch.
it
Yeah,
was-
you're
Who was
right.
the fire? Who was it?
It was just so fast. It was just so fast, and then it was like I was in shock. And I go, wait a minute, what just happened?
It's one of two people. It's either the guy who Damien like twisted his head off, or it's the kid who's like, I'm gonna get the guards. It was one of the two. But I think it was the guy whose head he twisted off because they had to be the same height. And that kid was a lot shorter than
Yeah, that's what I was going to say right away. He was a lot shorter. Now, technically, gentlemen,
Damien
while
planned that out.
yeah,
Damien planned that out. That's why he killed that guy.
yeah, yep, yeah, I think they did, which wouldn't be the first time when what's her face took revenge. Alicent, when she was wearing green,
Yeah.
she got Barris to. Those guys were condemned to death. They pulled them out, and I guess instead of killing the assassins can't say anything if they have no tongue, right?
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. I have to admit I'd missed that, but I wanted to comment that near the very end. When I'm taking notes, I use a long line up on top when it's a change in location or whatever, and then when it's just like a change in scene, but they're working. I had a whole bunch of those, and near the very end, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like transitions from all the people because of the voiceovers that were going on. I really did enjoy that. There was so much going on in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was paying attention. And then, when Rainier says, I need you, uncle, I was like, okay, that's a little more than just saying I need another one night stand. So I thought there was quite a bit more. And then I think it was right before then when Laenor says, look, it's all about family. I have failed you. It's like the ghost of Christmas past came to visit him. And he wanted to make a go of it. And did you see the look of like almost terror on her face?
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. And okay. Oh, wow. We're getting some comments now. She says, I'll join you in a minute. I'm teleworking. Okay. Ines is in shock. So I guess she is going to be joining us. Hope, yes. I apologize. What an episode. Folks, I'm sorry. I wasn't getting any of the comments, and they came in like all of a sudden, all right now. Wow.
I was trying to pull up some of them. Yeah.
Okay, but didn't they all show up like right now at this moment? Oh, they've been there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just saw them.
Oh, sorry. It must be my internet. I apologize. Valerie says barely getting to sit down and watch it now. I'll be back. Okay, fair enough. I guess Ines says that she'll be joining us shortly. She says she's in shock. What an episode. I need some therapy, Hope says. Hi, Hope. How you doing? Thanks for joining us again. Ines says, I loved it. Ines says, no, it was some random guy. Okay, so I hope Ines is
Nothing is random in this show. There's no random people in this show.
Oh, he does have okay, wait a minute. He has an uncle, doesn't he?
Uncle. Not a brother,
yeah.
uncle. That was his
right.
uncle with his head twisted off.
And yeah, that's the one that I was kind of thinking of.
So was that because Damon always had an issue with him, even from episode 3. You know, he was talking smack to Damon, and Damon kind of gave him a look. And then same thing when he was looking at Damon and kind of giving some pointed words in the eulogy. So was it just in response to that he was getting his revenge? Well, he could. No, I think he planned it. I think he did that because he didn't like him, and also because he's got a plan that we don't know about yet. It has to do with Lenore.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something up.
Yeah, there definitely is. I wish I could go back to some of my notes, but I do know that in the episode, which I believe it is the third episode, where they're not doing well, and
they're standing on the top.
Yeah, they're up there, and Lenore's brother, or no, I guess it has to be his uncle. He is like, "Hey, dude, we're beat. We're having a hard time, and you know, yeah, it's hard, and this guy is not helping out."
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Lord Corliss's brother, which is Lenore's uncle.
Yeah, and I think Lord Corliss eventually tells him, "Dude, you got to shut your mouth. The only one that's really causing problems is you."
Yeah.
But, yeah. So Hope says, when the queen, who never was, petitioned her husband to have Driftmark pass through Lana's line to Baela, she was referring to one of her granddaughters, I believe. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to see. Ines, you're here. Did you get the code? If not, I'm gonna post it right now, Ines, and you should see it. I don't know which Facebook page you're under, but folks, if you're thinking of wanting to join us, I just put the link in there, and you'll join our green room, and we'll have the conversation. But see if you can join us, Ines. She's a hardcore fan. Ines was telling me that her husband also watches it with her, so I was like, "Hey, bring him on too." So
right on.
Who knows? We'll see. But I may have interrupted you, Jesse. What were you going to say right now?
Oh no, actually, I was just going to comment. It just reminded me. She said something about Driftmark. Anyway, I thought in this episode, at the very beginning, I thought there was a lot of whining from the kids, and there was that one part where the guy was like, "I don't want to be Lord of Driftmark because if that means everybody's dead."
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Jace, the son. I wrote that part down. Jace. I think he said Jace refers to Driftmark as everyone is dead. Yeah.
Which was it was interesting to me because it's Game of Thrones. Like clearly this kid doesn't know the program. Everyone's for sure going to die.
Yeah, there was a lot of whining, and Aegon. That's when he's just drinking and drinking and drinking, and shortly thereafter, it's when Gramps Hightower comes over and sends him off to bed, which is really kind of funny. Otto
was the best in this. Like when he was talking to Alicent after, and he's like, she was like apologizing for causing such a scene and attacking, with the knife and all that. And then he's like, I've never been more proud of you. You could win it. You could win it all. I was like, wow, he really is a snake.
Yeah, he says, and I wrote that quote down. He says, okay, because Alicent, right, she realized she went over, but she is talking to her dad, and basically he says, we play an ugly game, but I see you have the determination. In time, you and I will prevail. Wow.
They think so. She's going full on batshit crazy though. She is getting nuts.
Okay, but she wanted eye for an eye. Okay, was she entitled? Does she really hate the kids that much? I mean, I know it was her son. She knows her son picked the fight. She knows how. I mean, I guess it would have been Aegon more than him because he was the one. Oh my goodness, not Aegon, but his the other son. What is his name?
I don't remember.
I know I wrote it down, and of course I don't have it. But him, he's the one that got punked by all of them
because he didn't have a dragon.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Aegon, the guy who bonds with Vagar.
Yes. Aemon. Yes. Aemon, the one who loses his eye. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy when.
That was badass. Who does that? Walks up to Could you imagine? Like, put yourself in that. I know we don't have dragons, but imagine you have like as tall as a building. This thing looks you in the face. It's gonna breathe fire on you. Guy just stands there. It says his magic words or whatever. No problem. Dragon's like, all right, sure, I guess so. And he just climbs up on top, goes for a ride. That's badass. I'm sorry, that he gets A+ in my books.
Hope comments. This was a scene from Game of Thrones where Jeffrey gets his ass handed to him by Arya all over again.
It's true. They're
Yeah.
doing that on purpose, I think. It's showing that kind of history repeats itself. It's a little bit too on the nose, I think. But I think it's interesting how it's sort of this is what is really setting off the Dance of the Dragons right now. I think this is where they completely separate. Viserys is obviously going to die real quick, probably next episode, and then it's full on Dragon Wars.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so.
Allison and Otto are going to kill him. I bet they poison him to speed it up. How about this?
Okay.
What if they have been killing him? What if Otto's been poisoning him the whole time?
Was it the second episode or the third episode that she slipped him something and he kind of thinks about it and he still drinks it?
What?
We
Really?
talked about that in some of the episodes. Oh, yeah, it was early on. And if Inez gets in here, I think she made that comment. Hope, do you believe they're poisoning the king? I'm curious. And Inez, hopefully you'll be joining us real soon. Hope questions, what do you think of all the new cast members? I can't make myself like the new princess actress, but the queen was casted really well. I really do miss the two girls from the first one. This is only the second episode with them as adults. I did grow attached to both of the girls. They were good, and I'm sorry they're out. Jesse, what are your opinions so far? I know we're only 2 episodes in.
I think that's the thing, right? Like anytime you sort of get attached to like the original actors, as soon as they change them, you're not going to like them at first. I think they're both doing a pretty good job. I don't think the actress playing Rhaenyra's had a lot of super juicy stuff to do yet. I think she's kind of playing it like really close, her cards really close to her chest. It's like everything's very like secretive and she's very subdued. Whereas Olivia Cook, the girl playing Allison, she gets to like act full on wacko, come at people with knives and stuff. So she's got juicy scenes to do right away. So,
as a matter of fact, I was going to get to that right now. But folks, I don't know if you remember Olivia Cook. She was in the movie. It was the Gamer movie, and I cannot remember the name of the movie now. She was one of the characters. Oh my goodness! Ready Player One.
That was it. I think it was Ready something. Okay.
She's in Ready Player One.
Cool.
Yeah, and I did enjoy her in that role, and I didn't realize at first that it was her, but it's just a few years off. So let me see. Hope also comments. Previously, I would say that the queen would not lower herself to that level in order to make the king sick. We're talking about that one scene where she gave him something. Only due to the fact that she knows once her husband dies, the throne goes to the princess. Doesn't make sense for her to speed up her own death or put her kids in harm's way. You do remember in the last episode, I think Allison just levels Aegon and says, dude, you got to pay attention. These kids, once she becomes queen, dude, you are the threat to her.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're old enough yet. I think Aegon is too young to lead a rebellion or to be even crowned.
Maybe she's slipping him medicine. Maybe she's trying to make him live longer.
Now, Hope says it was probably something to prevent him from wanting sex.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she didn't want to. What was the episode? She got really mad that he wanted her to come to him late in the evening.
And she tells the guard, it's late, dude.
Yeah.
And the king was like, he's summoning you. And then we saw the scene where she's just doing her duty.
Yeah.
She's not happy about it. Now, does she really love the king, Jesse?
Does she love the king?
Yeah.
No. No, I think that they talk a lot about duty in this show, right? And I think she's doing the duty for her father because he put her up to it. I think she's just going to do whatever he says. I think she loves her father, and I think she'll do anything for him. And I think he's been the puppet master of the whole thing the entire time. I think Viserys is right when he called him out on that.
Yeah, he did, and I think it was in episode either 5 or 6. I forget.
Yeah,
Actually, I think he's been out for 2 episodes.
At first, I wasn't sure, but I was like, "Wow, he had Otto pegged right. He was right to remove him as Hand of the King. He was after that throne the whole time."
Yeah, well, he in one of the prior episodes, he tells Ellison, "Look, will you shut up? I don't want to hear about it," because he's getting it from everyone, and then he gets home basically, and even Ellison is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he shut her up. I forget if that was in episode 4 or even 5. But Hope, that's in Queen Starfish. That's funny. I know that at the very end, when the king is pissed, I mean, he really is. He's genuinely trying to keep this family together. It looks like it.
He's a good guy. But that's what happens to people in Game of Thrones world. The good people usually end up getting murdered first or killed. I'm surprised he lived this long.
Oh, so am I. I mean, I thought honestly he was going to be gone in maximum episode 4. I thought he'd be gone.
Where's all the he should be having? Did they show any more lesions? Because it seemed like every episode before.
And his hand was
on this episode, no, only because I think the time jump was maybe just days or weeks. So I don't think we saw anything. I mean, he looks bad when you see they've done a good job of that.
He looks like a zombie, like a ghoul, like something from a horror movie.
That I didn't notice, but I didn't see any other. That's funny. Did I see any other things lost? That was bad. I'm sorry, because he's losing everything. Now, did you guys catch in episode 3 or 4? Apparently, when it was green, because of the he had lost his fingers, and on the first run, it was a mistake that they made. Did you guys catch that?
Oh no, I didn't.
I
didn't either. I don't have a DVR.
So they had green tape around it or whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because
that's funny.
It made it on YouTube. It made it on all the other networks, and they had a picture of it. It was so subtle. You had to be paying attention. It's kind of like what happened with the Starbucks cup in season 8, where you just had to be looking right there, even though it was in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
But as far as that conversation went, it was, he says, well, first he's asking Aemon, tell me the truth. Tell me what happened. And then Rhaenyra jumps in and said, well, Father, we're here because of the scurrilous lies and epithets that were directed. What epithets? And then Rhaenyra's like, the accusations were the lineage. It was kind of funny how everyone was looking around like, oh, is she going to say the bastard word out loud? And she didn't. Now, the king's got to know, Michael. He knows they're bastards, doesn't he?
Well, he's in denial. He doesn't want to believe it. I'm sure he doesn't.
Jesse?
Well, I think it's maybe also self-preservation. Because the second that those kids are known as bastards, then
she's out of there.
She's not the heir. And that means that Alicent doesn't need the king anymore. She can just kill him off and be queen on her own.
Huh.
And he can't defend himself.
Mm-mm.
But if she kills him off right now, then, Alicent's in danger because Rhaenyra might come for her and her children right away.
As that conversation continued, he referred to, we are family. We have to get through this. Now apologize. Your king demands it. And he yells it out. I'm sorry?
Someone's lost an eye. It's a little bit more than let's apologize. Yeah. Shake hands and, it's not, someone didn't sprain an arm. Someone lost an eye.
But he has a dragon now. Doesn't matter.
Down his face.
Okay, well, the king doesn't know that at that moment. He doesn't know that yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
What does he know?
He doesn't know that Aemon has the dragon yet.
Oh, no, he finds out after.
Yes.
He's like, it was a fair trade. I lost an eye, but I gained a dragon.
Yeah, and right, and I have that a little bit later. Allison then says, "Hey, wait a minute, but they harmed your son. He's your son. What are you gonna do about it? Hey, I'll apologize." And I guess it's at that moment where, okay, no, she didn't snap yet. And good evening, Ines. Thank you for joining us. This is you got your drink this time, right? Ines, I want to welcome you. Of course, Michael. I don't know if you met Michael, but he's
No,
been on
I
other
wasn't on.
programs.
No, nice to meet you guys.
And
Hey, how's it
Jesse
going?
is here on as well.
Hi.
I didn't really get to say it last time, Ines, but it was fun having you on last week. Thank you. And I'm glad you were able to return. I'm sure you
talked to
heard
me
some of the
for 1
conversation.
hour about you coming on the show.
Oh,
1
wow.
hour.
I am flattered. I am flattered.
Will Wilson be joining us?
He's on his way.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, Ines, I'm not sure how much you heard right now. We've been talking about quite a few things right now.
Mhm.
We were kind of like, I mean, we've jumped all over on this episode. So we're at the part where Allison is demanding revenge and Viserys is blowing her off on this.
She went batshit crazy.
Oh, did you say that earlier, Jesse?
For word.
I
Word
said-
for word almost.
I did.
She went batshit crazy.
Wow.
No, but it's motherly instinct. I think that
Motherly instinct
she
is
saw
to
her
grab
son.
like a giant knife and lunge at somebody in front of like 50 people.
Hey, I know my mother would if that would ever happen to me.
All right.
That you steal a dragon and someone gets mad and they take
Of
your eye
course.
out.
Just
Okay,
get a
well-
Valerian dragon and just stick it to anyone that comes across me. That my mother would do that at any day.
Okay. I think Allison went batshit crazy only because the king said no, everyone else said no, and then she turned to Sir Christian.
She felt
Said-
threatened.
Yeah, she said, "Do it." That was against the king's orders, and he actually, I think he held back, right, Jesse?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's the king's guard. He's not. The queen.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's like, you're sworn to me, and he's like, to protect you, like not to be your assassin.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess it was that one moment where it looked like everything was going to calm down, and then wham, she whipped it out. Now, actually, did she take it from someone, or did she have it?
No, she took it from someone. She took it.
Didn't she?
She took it from someone. She took it from what's the name of this dude?
I don't remember who it was, but she did take it from someone. And then she had that moment. I guess Rhaenyra, as we mentioned, she stood up to her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why didn't no one jump in though? That's why like they're all holding each other back, like let them fight it. I don't understand that. Why was there was no guards jumping in? No one trying to break it up. They're just gonna watch stab each other.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
that's one thing that Damon was like, oh, okay. So let me see how this plays out.
Yeah, right. Because he didn't get involved either.
No, actually, no one did.
Rhaenyra though, he's like Rhaenyra will probably kill her.
Okay, well, first of all, kids, I'm sorry. I grew up in a whole different era. I'm going to be the jerk. I'm the old guy. I'm going to say, when I was in public school and two girls were going to fight or did fight,
Nobody got in it.
Jumped in because the girls were the ones that really socked, pulled hair, did all that stuff. The guys, most of the time, it was pushing and shoving and hold me back. That's what guys do. But in my day, when girls were going to fight, it's like, no one would jump in. And I kind of chuckled at that. I kind of thought it was like that. I was like, oh, this is old school. But
no, I feel he felt it coming. He was like, okay, let them battle it out. And I think that he was pushing for the best.
Mm.
So Rhaenyra would be once again in her father's good graces because that's, of course, daddy's little girl and she will forever be. So he's like, okay, he's going to back her up anyway. So whether he kills her or she doesn't, then it really is not going to matter because she's still going to be Rhaenyra in my book.
oh, Hope says she took the dagger from Viserys. I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. It was his dagger because it was Valerian steel, and that's the dagger that. Yeah.
Thank you, Hope. Great catch. Now, the reason why I think I was exaggerating. I was being stupid on the old man stuff. I really think it's just because it happened so fast. People were shocked. This is the queen, and she's basically the heir apparent. For this to go down in that way, I mean, you really are talking about the two main powers in this realm. You can't even touch these people. Think about that. If someone touches, they're dead.
Did you guys recognize that dagger, by the way? Viserys' dagger?
Oh, what, Jesse? No. What was it?
That's the dagger that what's her face kills the Night King with.
Yeah, that's the one that's the dagger that Little Hands gets his throat cut off, and the dagger that kills the Night King.
Yeah, you're good. You know.
Good shot, Jesse, because technically the camera looks down on the blade. Yeah. And you had that quick second to realize it. Good job. I didn't realize that. Hope, did you know it was that dagger? I'm curious. If she did. But anyway, I think I covered all the big parts. Ines, were you surprised as to how quick it happened? Yeah. Okay. Hope says yeah, she did. Okay. I was talking about it earlier that I was really impressed that in the last 5 minutes we get a lot of activity. It's just from scene to scene to scene. Did you think Laenor was dead? I did.
I did. Then I'm like, this is kind of fishy to me. No, he can't be. He can't get off the hook that quickly. He can be off the hook that quickly.
The writers suckered me because of the way they played it. That just right before then, he's, I wasn't there. I'm sorry I wasn't there to support you. I know we tried. And we had a simple agreement, and I didn't do my duty.
Yeah, and
I want to be what you wanted to have. And I commented earlier, the look of horror on her face. She's already thinking of something else. I think she was already thinking of Damon. It's like, well, something happened on the beach.
No, but I didn't think that Rhaenyra will go through the length of actually having him killed. To be honest, I don't think so, because it was the way that they made that pact, the way that they were like, okay, you feel this way about men, you live your life the way that you want to. Fine, we'll get married. You do what you want to do, I'll do what I want to do, and it'll be all rainbows and unicorns. So I didn't think there was a mean bone in between them. So I don't think that she would go through the lengths of having him killed just for the sake of having Damon around.
Okay,
well,
Jesse,
she has to kill him. Here's the thing.
Like,
right now, there's no meanness between them.
Yeah,
but she's a person of action. She needs to get him out of the picture so that she can marry Damon and secure her claim to the throne and get a bunch of people rallying behind her so she can go fight all the Greens. That's what's going to happen, either at the end of this season, the next episode, or the next season after that. So she just looks at killing Laenor as like she's just
the means to an end.
Means to an end, exactly. But now, as long as he lives, he's going to live in exile and get out of there because he knows what's going on. Like, the second he shows his face, he knows there's going to be assassins chasing him, just how there was assassins chasing what's her face from the last one the entire time, the Queen of Dragons.
Right. Oh, yeah, the Queen of Dragons.
He's gonna be on the run just like that.
Dany, right? Daenerys.
Yeah, Daenerys. So she's gonna have him. She's gonna try and have him killed. I don't know what story he's gonna play out. He may end up somewhere else and rallying troops. He may end up joining the other team. They can't go back. They're not gonna be buds. They're not gonna be friends again. It's over.
She had commented earlier something to the effect of, Laenor has been restless for years, and after all this, he's going to be useless now. So that got me thinking that, okay, it might be a little bit more trouble than anything else. So I don't know. The writers got me good on this episode. I thought he was gone. There were so many setups. They suckered me in. But you guys, I guess, Michael, you thought he was dead, right?
I thought he was dead, yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I didn't, and then I did, and then I found out he wasn't, and I was like, I knew it.
You second guessed yourself.
Well, because they do this so much in this show. It's always like it's never what you think it is, and then sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. It's like, it's kind of like playing chess with the writers. They know that they're like, oh, people think they can guess what we're gonna do. You can't.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
No, and they're really doing a good job of it. At the very end,
They finally, like this one, like this episode, like I've been watching it because I've been into it, but I haven't been as into it as I was the last series. And I thought like there was some, like with the level of like violence and showing like a baby getting ripped out of the woman's stomach while someone's getting their head mashed in, all that. I was like, it's a bit gratuitous. Like they're just doing this for shock effect. Oh, and I didn't feel the story was really there until now. Now I'm really excited for what this series is going to bring because there's so many nuances and characters and stories and things people are doing. And I'm on board now. It's right now from this episode.
oh yeah, there's no doubt. Hey, good evening, Richard. Thanks for joining us, Lord Dick. Thank you. Of course, Jesse's on with us. Michael, you just missed Ines. She might be having some technical difficulties. Hopefully, she'll be able to join us a little bit. Lord Dick, did you see the episode?
Yes.
Wow. All right. Some of your thoughts, buddy.
Well, I liked it. Well, I mean, I guess I like the whole thing. I guess the favorite line is, "It's even now." I might have lost the eye, but I gained a dragon, and that has to be one of the best lines from the show.
Yeah, I did quote that one as well. I may have lost it. He says, "You know what? Let's end this. I may have lost an eye, but I gained a dragon." That is going to be one of the better lines right now. Heck yeah. And it's right after that we talked about where Hightower talks to his daughter. And he said, "We play an ugly game, but I see you have the determination. You and I will prevail." Wow.
And I do agree with you, Roger, that when two girls get into it, you stand back and watch.
Oh.
And
yeah. Sorry. Just the older guys.
You don't interfere with that because you might get. But anyway, that was the thing. Yeah.
Well,
it didn't happen that often. So when it did, it's like, okay, here's our okay. But yeah, we're from the same kind of school, I guess.
Yeah, but she did go batshit crazy, didn't it? That might be the word of the day, folks, or the phrase that Allison went batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy.
So yeah. What are some of your thoughts? I guess you've been listening in. Thank you, Richard.
I was. I mean, I knew that I did. Yeah, I was listening a little bit. I was after I got done watching the show and stuff, or this week's episode, and I liked it. I think I was glad to see more of the 11th Doctor. I thought that was pretty okay.
Oh, Damon, yes,
Damon, Matt Smith, yeah. Anyway, the 11th Doctor.
After they had their run in the sand, when they're talking a little bit later, and she says, "I need you, Uncle." She also says, "We are made of fire. If we do this, no one will challenge us." And he actually is coming around to it because he's not the one that says it. She's the one that's convinced. Yeah, it was, huh, Michael? Mm-hmm. And she's going on talking about this. And I think she doesn't say it, right, Jesse? He says it. Damon says, "Well, he's got to be dead, right?"
Yeah, I don't think he was Rhaenyra. Damon says that the only way we could get married is if Lenore's dead. And
yes.
I know.
And then right after that, we see the whole situation. The little kid runs out while they fight it out. And then the way I wrote it down was, wow, Lenore's dead. And it was like, wow. And then we see they're getting married. That was fast.
Yeah.
And the two daughters from Damon and the two sons from Rhaenyra, they're there. Who was standing in the middle?
Oh. I didn't notice.
Yeah, there was someone with a white cloak standing in the middle. It could have been the babysitter. I don't know. But someone was standing in the middle. It could have been the witness. I don't know who the witness was. But
it could be somebody important. It's got to be somebody important.
Yes, but I did notice that. And then, they went through the whole... We've never seen someone get married like this, but I guess that's the way that Targaryens get married, where they cut. I saw them cut his hand. Mm-hmm. Cut his lip, and I think she did so as well, right?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. You're right,
now,
Roger.
Do they only do that when they marry another Targaryen?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because we hadn't seen
They
that
didn't do
before.
that. They didn't do that in the other marriages.
Oh, you're right. You're right. From Game
Yeah.
of Thrones, you're right. I did not. Yeah.
No, but even when Rhaenyra married
Right.
in the last, like, what, episode 4?
Yeah, when she
Okay.
married later,
At the end of it, they didn't do that. They just married like normal.
it was almost a conventional marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. Aside from the death.
Relatively
It could have been just a last minute thing. Wait, we got to add something to this right now. The scene doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me.
We got to make this real here. Listen, give me your hand. Don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mind the knife. Don't mind this blade in my hand either. It's
Lord Dick was saying what his favorite line of the show was. I'll tell you what mine is. It was from Lord Coriolis. He said, "History doesn't remember blood. It remembers names. It remembers names." And he delivered the shit out of that line. That was awesome.
He did. I mean, you're right. I mean, I guess I like that one too, but the one when I can't blame you for that one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I like yours too. I'm just saying.
Hey, that was good. Actually, that's the whole conversation that we jumped over, where I forget her name, but the one who was not the queen. It's not. Is it Rhaenyra, Corlys's wife?
Oh, right, the queen who never
the
was.
queen that never was.
The queen that never was. I guess we can stick with that right now. Hope, if you're still in the chat room, let me know. I know you're paying attention to all this stuff and you're helping the old guy here. But
is it Linares?
Oh, it could be Linares.
Linares?
Well, Hope, help us out if you're still there, because I always hold out hope.
Season 1, we'll get him down.
Yes. It's just because I'm watching 4 different programs, man, and it's hard to get all the names down.
I get you.
But they're having the conversation, and Corlys is not letting it go. He wants blood. He knows what happened. And she says, look, there's no one to blame. Dude, I've given up. He says, no, but you were deprived the crown. And she says, dude, I know. I was there. They took it away from me, and I've let it go. And then
he has not.
Right. And I'm not sure who says, maybe the gods have damned us. And I think, okay, I may have jumped a little bit ahead, but he says, the crown was kept from you. And she says, I gave it up. You haven't. And then Corlys, you must acknowledge Rhaenyra's kids. They're not your blood. You know that. And that's when he answers.
Says that line.
Jesse, that was that line, right?
Doesn't remember blood, it remembers names.
Yes. Yeah. That was a good one. And that's what I cut it out by saying legacy remembers names. So I'm glad you remember that one. That was good. Guys, it's hard writing all these notes when you're watching.
Well, yeah, because then, like, if you're going to take notes, sometimes you got to, like, I found out quickly, if you don't jot it down quick, you have to pause and then go back and write something else down that you just missed.
Now,
Hard.
here's where Rhaenyra is a bit naive, because right after that, they're talking about, or where I mentioned, where Rhaenyra says, Laener's been restless for years, he'll be useless now, and they're talking about what happened. And she says, I do not believe Alicent is capable of murder. Remember that? She says that. And I was like, woman, are you that naive? It's like everyone else knows that they were involved in it. And then she's telling him, you left me alone. You know, did you love her? Oh, this is when she's talking to Daemon. And then he's talking about, because she's reprimanding him. You left me alone, Daemon. So there was more to that. And she asked about Lyanna. Did you love her? And it was funny. He says, well, we were happy enough. And I was watching TV. I'm like, bullshit. No, because in the prior episode, she's like, I'm sorry that I have failed you. I'm sorry that I've not. It was crazy. She gave him 2 daughters. She loved him, it looked like. But David did not love her.
But at the end of that episode, when he sees her burn to the dragon, like, it looked like he was going to cry. He definitely had an emotional reaction. He felt something for her, for sure. I think he prides himself on not loving or being attached to any character. I think he likes to show people that he doesn't care about anyone or anything, and he's capable of doing anything at the drop of a hat. I think that's how he keeps his power, so people
Is
can't.
that why he laughed at the funeral?
Yeah.
Well,
I honestly, like, you know, there's people like that. He's a sociopath. Like, I think he plays people. He gets a kick out of it. I think he loves distorting his perception to certain people. Even like George R. R. Martin wrote in the book about him. There was nobody in all the Seven Kingdoms who was more loved or hated than this character, which means that you ask 5 different people their opinion of him, you'll get 5 different answers. He's a chameleon.
wow.
He's certain things to certain people, but he changes your perception of him at the drop of a hat. That's why I found him so interesting. Even the 3rd episode when he charged that beach, I'm like, really? He seems so selfish, but not. But kind of did it for selfish reasons too, but also for glory. Like,
Yeah. There's no doubt he's not a wuss. He is a brave man. There's no doubt about it. There's things that. Oh, okay, Ines says she's having connection issues. Hopefully, you're able to join us again, Ines. Let me know if you need the link. But yeah, hopefully, we'll be able to join us again.
I thought
that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go.
Well, while we're talking about him laughing, I thought, well, maybe he just had a funny thought. I mean, sometimes you just stand there and something funny about that person or something just goes through your head, and you just can't. You always can't control what pops in your head sometimes. But maybe you're right too. But that's what makes this character so interesting, I think, is that you don't know this guy yet.
yeah.
You know, Jesse, Michael, and Richard, I actually like that thinking because you talked about it earlier, Jesse, on the funeral and how it looked so. It was bad. It was like everyone was doing their own thing. It was a funeral of a funeral. It felt like it was really crazy. It was odd. Everyone was doing different stuff, and for me, something that I guess Aegon was drinking. He was just drinking, and then the scene happens where Daemon, has that errant thought, or was it before? Because I just thought it was a whole disjointed reality of what was going on.
Roger, did
Michael?
you hear after the end of the show, they talked about the episode and that funeral / reception, whatever you want to call it, was the first scene that they had all filmed together as this new cast.
I was listening to some of it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it all. I did
Yeah.
not know.
Yeah, that's what it said. And I went, really? And that they said that was the first scene they all shot together. And they said they wanted it to look dysfunctional and everything.
Wow,
and
it did!
Since nobody knew each other, they didn't know what to expect from each other. It worked.
I wonder if that was a blooper and they kept it in for him laughing, and they kept it in because it was so interesting, and people are going to be like, what the fuck? I wonder
it may be nothing, Jesse.
It might have been an actor screwing up their lines, and he just goes, and then they caught it on camera.
And they kept it in.
And they kept
Who knows?
I did not know. I did not hear that. Very good, Michael, because I was short on time. I had to get on over here. And wow, that was good. I did not catch that part.
That does add a lot of things to it there, Michael, that little bit of information.
Oh, yeah. It was well done. I mean, that's what I was. So I caught that part, and as did Jesse, as did Michael, and I guess you did too, Richard. And I was trying to enunciate that. It really did look strange. And sure enough. Wow, that is crazy. Now, right after that scene, we had the consummation. No, I take it back. When they're talking about not being able to control Lenore, then Daemon and Rhaenyra, I almost thought, are they going to go on another date? Well, yeah, they want another date. This time they consummated what they didn't do, I guess, 10, 15 years earlier. And it was right after that, when they're on the beach, I actually thought that Aemon was going to see them on the beach.
I did too.
When he got the dragon.
I did too.
But that was the last bit of the episode that we did not talk about. They consummated, and then Aemon runs off, and the dragon wanted to burn him up, but he listened to the training, and he had to tell it several times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought the dragon was kind of screwing with him a little bit. It kept going
Yeah,
down.
maybe.
Well, at first it went straight up, and he was barely holding up. I thought to myself, "Oh, I'm dead. I'm
Well,
dead."
I thought for a minute, I thought, oh, he's going to fall off. That's going to be the end of him.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're right. I think that dragon was playing with him.
You know what?
Oh yeah, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jesse.
I was gonna say if he fell off, that would have been the most Game of Thrones thing ever. Where that kid goes up, falls off, and dies, and they're like, "What the heck?" Well, he tried to run it, and then they just leave it.
Yeah.
That would have been super Game of Thrones.
But
Yeah.
I also think that the dragon was testing his mettle too. I mean, are you worthy of riding me? Here, take this. Just take what I'm going to give you. We're going to go up. We're going to go straight down. See how many G's you can handle. And see, that's what I thought. That the dragon was just like, hey, you want to go for a ride? Let's go for a ride. And I think that the dragon was trying to. I think after that ride, the dragon might have had some respect for him, maybe as being so young and everything. That's my opinion. That could be wrong.
No, I think that's right, because I could tell that I mean,
Are dragons
so
smart
the
like that?
look that the dragon gave him with the eyes, it's like checking him out, seeing
Yeah.
what his stuff is.
What did you say? I didn't hear it,
I was
Jesse.
saying, like, are dragons smart like that though? Do they think like that, or is this more something that they can feel?
Well,
Okay.
well, dogs can do that too. I mean,
Yes.
dogs can, and cats, they fuck with you all the time. But
Guys, look at the prior episode when Lyanna had to order the dragon numerous times. The dragon didn't want to do it.
No.
The dragon understands the command, did
Yeah.
not want to do it. So I think they understand how much they do. I think we're going to be finding out more so.
Yeah.
But I think they do. They're perceptive. Dogs, yeah, they do, and cats even to a lesser extent. But if you really want to be mean to a cat, just move its water, because their memory is completely different the way it works from other animals. How do I know? I have lots of cats, so when I'm being sadistic, I just think of moving the water. I know that's evil, but anyway.
How many dragons are there going to be?
Okay, I have a count of
7?
dragons so far, but I'm only counting the times we see them. In this episode, we had 3 different events where we saw dragons. We had one major sex scene, which was very un-Game of Thrones-ish. And remember, they gave the number in the first episode. I don't know if I wrote that one down. But I don't know if they have more than 24. Sarah.
24?
Oh, I think Vhagar didn't want to accept Aemon as the writer.
Why didn't she burn him up?
Well, at first, okay. Sarah, give us a little bit of clarity on that, because I think she's commenting on, at first, it didn't want to accept him as the writer. That's why, because there was a scene where
That was clear.
Yeah, he was saying no. Yeah, Jesse, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. It could be anywhere from 10 seconds to 30, and on the internet, that's an eternity. So, because he's a Targaryen, okay. Okay, we need a little bit of clarity on that one, Sarah. But I'm going to go with, I think at first, it didn't want to accept them because the dragon was still committed to the original writer that had passed away. And I think even the dragon might have been mourning. And when he came up wanting to ride, the dragon's like, get the hell out of here.
Well, plus the dragon was woke up. The dragon was nice asleep, and all of a sudden, what the,
Yeah.
leave me alone.
I think it was that. And then he tries to get on a second time, and he looks at him and says, back off.
Yeah.
And I think he even tries a third time, and that's where he was about to, okay, get out of here, you little rat. And you could see that the flame was about to come out. So, but then he orders it off. So, let's see. At first, when she woke up and saw Aemon, I think we're on the same boat there, Sarah. Yes, definitely did not want him, but has a new writer. And even he says later on, it's all right, Mom. I lost an eye, but I got me a dragon. So,
The biggest one.
Yes. So look, as far as this episode goes, I think we covered almost every scene. So if there's something that we missed, everyone in the chat room, your comments, anything else that you guys want to add that maybe that we didn't discuss that we may have missed. Because I want to tell you guys, this episode I felt was on the weak side. Okay.
What?
No, hold on, no, Jesse, let me finish. As it was, and I was alluding. I'm stuttering. Can you tell? I was alluding to this earlier that it was just moving on, and the last 20 minutes, boom! I went from maybe a C plus to an A minus on this one. Yeah, I'm using that grading scale. I was impressed. You know, if I had not been watching this series as much, this episode would have said, "Yeah, I'm in." Just like you said, Jesse. I mean, this one sold it for you. I was in. I was in from the very beginning, but yes, this one cemented it for me. And I think you said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm in." Right?
Yeah, absolutely. The other episodes, they didn't feel like they were building toward anything. I didn't know what direction it was going. But now this, like the whole episode, even when it was kind of slower in the beginning, I was like, there's something going to happen here. Something is happening. And then it certainly did.
I agree. This did resonate with me as well. I mean, I thought, oh, this is awesome. Let's move on. I mean, I'm ready for the next episode. I mean, that's like the others you watched. Okay, we'll see what happens next Sunday. But now I'm ready. Okay, is tomorrow Sunday? That's my thoughts.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Michael?
Well, I've been in since the beginning because I was in just because it was a Game of Thrones.
For that, Michael.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this one was. Yeah, I can see why you said C plus at the beginning, and then went to A minus because I would agree with that because it was a little slow, but you know some things were happening. Okay, but then it's like, whoa, look out.
Jesse, I'm not sure if you know this, and I want to go back to my other co-hosts as well, but when Game of Thrones came to an end, Mr. Martin was begging the production staff that there's enough material for us to go 10 seasons. And you know they wanted to end. Well, and I sarcastically told the audience, well, we know why they wanted to end because they had an offer from Disney for 3 major movies, and that's why they wanted out.
Yeah.
But George R.R. Martin was saying, I've got enough material here for us to go 10 years. Obviously, if we look at the book, there's an incredible amount of material. And George R.R. Martin is an executive producer on this program. Based on the fact that and I'm just throwing this out here, folks, if the plan is to go as long as Game of Thrones, I don't think we've seen anything yet. This one, the cunning, the stuff, my God. I mean, this is close quarters combat compared to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because remember, in Game of Thrones, we went to the cities as the storylines branched out, and then they eventually all came back. They said in the first season, I think it's going to be all at King's Landing, and that's what it is.
It's been very little not at King's Landing. Almost all of it has been at King's Landing.
As a matter of fact, you're right. When they went out for the stag, we talked about that in the episode on the 2-year anniversary of Aegon's birth. And then, of course, they were at Driftmark for a significant portion of this episode.
They got to go to Hightower.
Yeah. They definitely have to go to Hightower. Look, the second season has already been renewed. Or I'm sorry, it's on order, so we're going to have a second season. Gentlemen, I think this, if I know it's early, but they've had a twist and turn in every episode. If they can keep this up, Jesse, like you said, dude, I'm in, man. I'm in, like in.
Yeah. I think it's great. So I'm excited to see where it's going from here too. And the Dance of the Dragons, the Battle of the Dragons. Can't wait to see that happen.
Yeah, because more and more people are getting that stuff. Now, you commented earlier, Jesse, about one of your favorite episodes, that this is like one of your favorite episodes compared to like Battle of the Bastards or whatever. What did you think of, I don't know if it was in the 5th or 6th season, when they were north of the wall, and I guess it's called Hardhome.
Hardhome, yeah, I thought that was great. You know what was great about that is I didn't see it coming. Like I thought that was the end of the episode. I thought they were just, okay, they're going to get on ships and leave. And then they start hearing that noise. And they're like, what is it? And everyone starts running, trying to get in the city, and they're like, or the village, and they're like, lock the doors, and all the people get locked out. And then just like, that's the first time that we'd seen like the actual Army of the Dead. Before that, it was just like, there'd be like little militias of zombies like attacking people and stuff. But this was the full-on Army of the Dead, the White Walkers, and Battle of Jon Snow, and he kills one. It was, that one. It caught me so off guard, that episode.
That one, and I think it was the second to last episode of that season. And what really caught me off that one is everything you said, Jesse. And we lost quite a few characters up north right there. And then we learned what happened. That the moment you die, you're now part of the army. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I was like, oh, winter is coming and it's bad. That episode was good. And when you mentioned Battle of the Bastards in another episode, I was thinking of Hard Home. That was, yeah. But I understand why you mentioned Battle of the Bastards, because you were talking about a battle similar to that, which was in the third episode.
Yeah, but even still, like the episode, it was so well shot, it was so well written, the acting in it was incredible. It was just a really good ass episode. And the episode 3 reminded me of that one.
I don't know if you want to give it a rating, but if you do, people are making fun of the fact that I'm using the old grading scale, but that's what I'm doing. I'm stuck on that for right now. Like I said, it was meandering a little bit for the weight of the episode, but what a last 20 minutes or even 30 minutes. I did give this episode an A-. What would you can grade it?
I'm gonna grade it on the House of the Dragon scale. I don't want to grade it on a Game of Thrones entirety scale, because I don't know if I could grade it as high. Like it's up there, definitely. But I'd really have to sit down and go through season 8. There was a couple episodes, the Battle of Winterfell. I know a lot of people hated it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yes.
Hard Home, stuff like that. But this one, for House of the Dragon, I give it an A+.
Oh wow! So
this episode I've seen, it just had me on the edge the entire time. I felt like something was building. The actors did a really good job. I always felt like just something was off the entire time, and I think that's a good place to be when you're watching Game of Thrones, when you're not quite sure what's going to happen next and who's going to turn on who and who's going to come out of the woodwork and have some information that's going to change everything, and who's going to fake their death and why.
Yeah,
no kidding. Michael, what would you give this one? And I don't care how you grade it.
No, as I said, I would give it kind of like what you did, an A-, because, who knows? I'm scared to give it an A+ because there could be another episode that comes along after this that is even better with more twists and turns.
Well, okay, that's
so.
But that doesn't mean this A+ would be less than that one.
Well, no, but
what are the A+?
Yeah, you can go A++ next time.
Well, whatever.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Michael. And I'm sorry, I think we all cut you off on that one.
That's okay. I would give it about an A-, maybe even an A.
Okay.
But
I'm just trying to get a feel from you, and of course, Hope, if you're still there, Inez, Sarah, your grades on the episode. However, 1 to 10, plus, minus, thumbs up, down. The Roman kills thing, whatever. Lord Dick, what would your grade be?
I'm gonna have to go with an A.
Oh, okay. This is cool, man. This is cool.
Well, I'm just saying. I know you say it was kind of meandering and slow, but I thought that it was not that bad of an idea. We got a chance to gather our breath, introduce ourselves to the characters, see a bitch fight, see someone's eye cut out, try to hold on to a fucking dragon. What else can you ask for? Come on.
Okay, and folks,
a dragon fight.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what. See, I just said A. So so now I still have my A+ in reserve at another date.
Oh my goodness! But folks, think about this. We're all giving it an A. We're just arguing over the level of it. The fact of the matter is, it was a damn good episode. We're all in agreement. I think it's just the feeling that we have. And folks, I do apologize. I meant to say it was slow and meandering compared to the way it moved at the end. Okay. The plot was moving I'm willing to admit that I was clearly wrong. I didn't mean to say meandering. The plot is moving forward, but I guess it was just it. I should have said it was thicker in plot movements. If you guys understand what I'm trying to, yeah. So it was just slower, but I appreciate where they're going.
But see, that's part of the build-up for the fastness. I mean, that's how cinema is supposed to be done. Not like, okay, let's have a battle scene every 5 minutes, so the millennials will look up from their phone and watch.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Be careful, you know.
Oh no, we're good. So look, I appreciate the comments on the way the episode. Do you guys have any other things that you want to talk about specifically on this one? I actually don't have the name of the episode because it wasn't on immediately. So I don't know what the episode was entitled. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Wasn't it the Queen and the Princess, the Princess and the Queen?
Oh, the Princess and the Queen. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Anything else that we missed, guys? Are you good? Did you want to talk about anything else as far as House of the Dragon? Or
full disclosure, I know I made fun of millennials back then, but I do that too. I'll be watching TV and I'll be like, nothing's going on. So I do it too. Full disclosure.
No, that's funny. All right. Well, I appreciate that. I've got the scores. I'm going to actually write them down just for posterity's sake, just so we can. I love
just to get us later on what we said.
No. That's not the way it works.
You gave this episode a C, but you gave that one an A+. I don't know.
No, that Roger doesn't operate that way. But by the way, Jesse, the reason why I have Lord Roger and then Lord Dick, of course, the name is Richard. It's a play. I'm a hardcore Yankee fan, and people didn't know this, but I was choosing Lord Roger, House of whatever. I was using a famous Yankee every different episode. So I had Lord Roger, House of Fontenot, Lord Roger, House of Mattingly, Lord Roger, House of Guidry. And this is the only time I didn't go with a House of whatever. I just went with Lord Roger, and I think it was because I was trying to be respectful.
You should have went with the House of Maris.
Who knows what I'll do next week, but I had to be a bit professional because we have a real professional on with us today.
Yeah.
So.
Now this was episode 7, right?
This is episode 7.
Yeah. So this one is actually it. Last week's was Princess and the Queen.
Oh.
And this one is called Driftmark.
Oh, duh. Okay, fair enough.
And next week's episode is the Lord of Tides.
Lord of Tides.
Okay,
Lord of Tides.
The preview.
I did, and I didn't know what it was talking about.
Corliss is the Lord of Tides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, if you have a chance to see it, the preview, it looked very good. It's a hell of a tease. Go back and check it out. Yes, it's on right after. I love the fact that HBO is still one of the few programs that will give us on next week stuff. Almost no one does that anymore.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that they do that. So.
Oh, that's done to keep your attention. They don't want to. They want to make sure you go to the next step. If you're like a network, you want to go. You want them to stay on your network, so you say, "Okay, boom, let's go to the next one real fast before they can change channels."
Yeah.
But I don't know but I don't know why HBO does it. But I appreciate that too. You go because then it gets you enticed. Like especially now that more and more streamers are going week to week. I mean, I'm used to Netflix where they just drop it and you spend all weekend binging it, catching up. But this week to week stuff is just, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling on again. I'm sorry.
No, not at all, Lord Dick. I appreciate that. Jesse, are you a Netflix guy or are you House of the Dragon guy where it's every week and you get a chance to talk about it as opposed to it dropping all at once?
Oh, I like it dropping every week because I have no self-control. If it all dropped in one day, I'd watch it in one day.
Let me tell you, we can't do programs like this if it drops.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say,
I like binging.
As full disclosure, that's what I like about the weekly is that we can actually come back and discuss this because then we binged it. We'd have to watch an episode and plan. Okay, just watch one, and we'll come back and we'll like, no, we watched the first 3 already, Roger. We're way ahead of you.
it's too difficult. I will tell you this on Netflix. I did binge watch Lost in Space season 2 and season 3. That was fun. I did. So if you guys have seen Lost in Space, if not, I recommend you check it out. But all right, Beyond that, we're good. Last thoughts for House of the Dragon. Lord Dick, go.
I'm done.
Awesome. Michael.
Done.
Okay. Jesse.
Can't wait for the next one. Let's see what happens.
I
Agreed.
can't either. So if you guys are good with it, I'm ready to go on to another episode. Like I said, normally I would go to Rings of Power, but since I have an audience that's exclusively East Coast, and I don't know how long we're going to have you, I have Lower Decks, I have the Rings of Power, and I have Andor. What do you guys want to talk about while I still have you guys?
I've got to drop out. So.
Okay, Jesse. Yeah. Jesse, first of all, yeah, I knew we had you for about an hour, and I'm sorry you stayed on longer than that.
No,
Jesse, dude, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I would love you to come back and join us. I know it's a heavy commitment, but dude, I appreciate your insight. It was fun. I'm glad it is because we just saw it, so we're good. All right. Are you watching the other programs by chance?
The other programs? Yeah, I am.
Like Andor?
Yeah, I've been watching Andor and Lord of the Rings. The last episode, I liked it. It was okay, but it's kind of been a disappointment for me so far.
Which one?
Lord of the Rings of Power.
Okay, Rings of Power. Yeah, episode 6 called Udun.
Yeah, it was a good episode, but like just it's the writing and some of the acting has really been like messing with me. It's just yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I do want to share this just before you go, young man. Apparently, who is it? The one that used to do all the ratings, the older one, that company. Yeah, the old
Nielsen?
Nielsen's, yes. They issued a report this weekend, and apparently, they, because it takes them longer to do it, and based on what they were able to extrapolate, it's almost a 2-to-1 margin on the ratings for the Rings of Power versus HBO. So, okay, but one has to consider the side. Yes, there are more people watching Rings of Power than HBO.
But it makes sense because, like, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got such poor ratings on there. I think people are watching it to hate it. I think that's got a group of haters and a group of people that like it, and it's just people that are watching House of Dragon. It's only people that like it. People that don't like it, really, they don't even want to watch because it's triggering.
And I agree with that, Jesse. I agree with that. I think they want to watch it so they can hate on it some more.
Well,
don't hate on it. But don't hate on it too much, Jesse, or Amazon will delete you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about that last week? That they stopped allowing comments on the Amazon site.
Fake comments on there. I've seen it. You go check out Rotten Tomatoes and you look at people that are writing all the reviews. It's people that have never written a review before in their entire life with like a bunch of numbers behind it and all that. It's all fake. But listen, like anybody who likes it, like I love fantasy programs and I really wanted that one to succeed. Sounds like they are with ratings, but like not with writing. The writing is like some of the poorest writing I've ever seen. Like for a budget of what was it, like $1 billion that they had to make this show, they put it all into effects and none of it into like character development, writing. A lot of the actors are.
Do you think some of the problems is editing, Jesse?
No, I think it's bad casting for some of it. Just some people that just seem like they haven't really done it before. But some of the writing is really hard to grasp too. There's a lot of cliche things happening. It's kind of silly at times. People are making jokes with each other right after a big battle, and I'm like, what? So I mean, it'd be hard to make that good if you're the best actor in the world. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, Jesse, because it seems like everything they say is so cliche. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Come on. Expect better for $1 billion in writing wise. And
here's my last thought on that before we get into the episode because we're going to keep Jesse on forever, and I cannot do that. My point to that is,
but he keeps making good points.
Yes, but I want it back. I don't want to like at the very end. It's like talk about meandering and not getting to the point. No.
That's just the way I am.
Oh, no, not you, Richie. No, it's me because I'm keeping them. Because, look, I'm just saying that knowing what Nielsen's did and knowing what we talked about right now, do you guys know that the Tolkien estate does not want Peter Jackson involved in any way whatsoever because, in their opinion, he butchered and destroyed The Lord of the Rings, as opposed to now where they have editorial content control. I wonder if anyone's realized that.
Wow.
They did not want Peter Jackson involved. Peter Jackson talked about the fact that he got ghosted by them.
What a shame, because he would have made it. Well, he would have tried to make it great. I don't know if he would have, depending on how much their involvement is. But his Hobbit movies weren't the best. But
no, they were not.
But I don't know. I thought the Lord of the Rings was going to be a lot better, and it's a little soap opera. It kind of reminds you of I don't know, Wheel of Time was kind of like that too. I don't know if you've seen that. It was a little soap opera.
I have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was expecting things from that. It kind of seemed like a teen kind of soap opera, kind of CW sort of thing.
Which one was that?
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do, Jesse. Honestly,
I guess if you got all the younger people, then sure you got a big audience, but you didn't get me.
All right, that's fair. You know what?
Were you talking about Wheels of Time?
Yeah, the Wheel of Time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know where that beginning came from. I'm watching. Wait a minute, this is not right. So yeah, you're right.
Well, it's a series of books. It's done in a series of books. I think there's 12 of them by Guy K.
There's 8 books, and I've read enough of the first one to know that they really butchered this. So, but anyway, you can go now, Jesse. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep you any longer.
Never.
Seriously,
Lord of the Rings are like, Carol's done. Never getting on our show. He's never getting on it. Wheel it. He's just nothing. I'll never get on Amazon ever now. I'm over.
Wow.
It's over.
My final comment of that was there are more subscribers to Amazon for a whole other reason as opposed to HBO.
No, that is true. That is true.
HBO doesn't give us free shipping.
No, I wish they would.
Okay, but still, so there's stuff to talk about. But all right, we're gonna leave it at that. Jesse, seriously, dude, sir, I appreciate it, man. This was a lot of fun because I did 2 episodes doing this. Okay, and having a conversation makes it awesome. Jesse, this was fun. I look forward to being able to see. Hopefully, all kidding aside, if you are able to join us next Sunday, it's a thrill, and we are looking forward to having you on. Lord Dick, this is our guest. That's going to be on October 17th.
I remember his name. I'm not that old.
Be ready, Jesse. Be ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's going to be good. So actually, you already know. You have a taste of us already, good or bad. Sorry, buddy.
No, we're going to have a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, man.
All right.
I can't wait to talk about what you've done. Jesse, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you soon, Jesse.
Have a good night.
Yeah, good night. All right, folks, we are going to go ahead and continue. And all kidding aside, Jesse is our guest on October 17th, which is real cool. You saw how we were kind of coy about it and bringing him on, which is kind of a lot of fun. Good job, Michael. And, we're really looking forward to it. So wonderful conversation in House of Dragon. Valerie, thank you for your comments. Just saw the episode. I loved it. So you say, I think that's exactly what happened with all of us. We were, and I'm just saying the word argument to say argument. It wasn't. It's, look up the damn word for the definition. You'll understand how I'm using it. But when we all made our argument, we went from an A+ to as low as an A-. All of us. That says a lot for this episode. It was a good episode and really exciting. So, hey, looking forward to it. So, what do you guys want to talk about next? Do you guys want to do Rings of Power? Do you guys want to do Andor? Or you guys want to do Lower Decks?
I'm going to have to go pretty soon too.
All right.
But can we do Lower Decks next?
Okay, we're going to do Star Trek Lower Decks. Richard, have you seen Star Trek Lower Decks?
I am not caught up.
Okay, sorry.
Well. Then I'll sign off too. Then if you want, and then you can.
No, you can stay. You guys can talk Lower Decks. I'll just stay here and pet my cat back here, and then.
All right. Well,
the one in the back or another one?
The one in the back. That was a stupid joke. But anyway, you guys go. If you want to talk, I just haven't. I'm just not caught up. Doesn't mean you guys can't speak about it. I don't care about. I don't care about spoilers.
Okay, fair enough. Star Trek Lower Decks. Hear all, trust nothing. Episode 6 in the 3rd season, right here. Wow, what a lot of stuff happening. Obviously, spoilers, teasers, everything coming. Wow. Folks, not going to go through as I normally do. We're going to be jumping all over the place. But Michael, some of your thoughts. I loved it. I did answer it where basically the Cerritos was going to be an auxiliary ship in a major negotiations. And the Vancouver's captain is not going to be able to make it. So Admiral, whatever his name is, it's a funny name in Spanish. It's like Admiral Good Humor in Spanish. But he says, you guys are going to have to do the negotiations. And the captain loses her mind.
Totally
Says,
loses her
I didn't
mind.
even have a chance to do this. So, all right,
prepare, I didn't do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so she tells Helm, give me some time so I can, do a quick checking. And Helm,
We're here.
buy me some time. And then she says, Helm says, how do I do that? And then they just circle the pylons as if we're in all the pylons. And then we get the motif of the ship, the music in the background. It's beautiful. And it lasts for about, 6-7 seconds? And
If
then
not more.
She says, and I yelled out to the screen when she says, just keep circling, damn it. And then that's exactly what Jack says. Just keep circling. Oh my God, that was so funny. That was a wonderful homage to all the times that they do it in Star Trek. Richard, I was laughing from the get-go right now. I was laughing because I was like, well, keep circling, damn it, give her time. And then he said it. I laughed. How about you, Michael?
Well, I did, and it was like when I realized they were going to go to Deep Space Nine. I mean, I had no clue that they were going to go to Deep Space Nine this season. I mean, it was. I try not to look at spoilers, so it was just so cool.
This one was fun, and Richard, you're gonna have to hurry and watch Star Trek Lower Decks because you were supporting me on the girl fight. Well, it's not necessarily a girl fight in this one, but there's some girl on. Michael, there's some girl on this one, and it was so funny. Oh my God, there was a scene, Michael. Gmo said, "Oh God, Dad, you gotta watch it." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Oh, she saw it first?
Yeah, she actually beat me to this episode first because I was on vacation. I was on a ship, so I didn't get a chance to see it until yesterday, and then of course I did my rewatch this morning. But there's this wonderful scene where it's very near the end, and we'll get to it in a moment, Mike. I think you know which one it is. After Mariner does what she does to everyone in the salon, and then they're like Jennifer, like, oh well, wait a minute, we're the only ones that are still up. What are we gonna do? So they phaser each other, but before they phaser each other, Mariner and Jennifer they give each other a quick little smack. And oh my God, it was hilarious. And then they fall down. And then my daughter's watching it with me, and I got the remote. I backed it up 15 seconds to watch it again. Oh my God, my daughter died laughing because I'm a guy. I see two girls, whatever. But I'm exaggerating. Yeah, okay, Richard's already getting it a little bit. It was funny. Several episodes ago, we found out that Mariner likes this one fellow crew person. Her name is Jennifer. She's very attractive. She's Andorian. I don't know what Mariner, what her sexuality is. It's generally implied that she's hetero, but based on what we just saw, she's not hetero, right, Michael?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
No.
She may be a Galaxian because I don't know what she feels for Jennifer, but she stutters when they mention Jennifer's name. And it's funny because Mariner's a pain in the ass. But you mention Jennifer and she becomes a pool of jello or a pool of goo, huh, Michael?
Yeah, and just...
And it was funny on the episode. Oh, Michael, I'm talking about the girl in the previous episode of Lower Decks where they're having collect these crystals or
Oh
something.
yeah. Oh, you mean? Oh, wait a minute. Do you mean the one?
I think that wasn't that a couple episodes ago.
Yes, it was several. It was like episode 4 or 3. But you guys
Was it
remember
when they were on the planet
Yes.
and one was collecting the crystals, but the other group was doing something else.
Yes, but when
Yeah.
they started collecting the crystals, remember it takes from your psyche. And,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
Jennifer
yeah.
shows up, and it was really funny because she's like, Mariner.
That's right, yeah.
That was funny. So there's a continuation of that in this episode. But all kidding aside, and it happens immediately because Mariner is talking to the crew, Rutherford and Tandy, and Boimler, as they're like, "Hey, we got Deep Space Nine. We got to go and check it out." And Mariner's like, "Oh man, what a waste of time. I don't want to go there." Blah blah blah, whatever. And then Jennifer was up in one of the bunk beds, and she jumps down, and Mariner turns into a pool of goo right there in front of her. And she goes, "Hey, well, my friends, we're gonna have a party. It's not gonna be a party. It's called a salon. That's what they call it." And Mariner's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with you guys on DS9." And the three of them, Rutherford, Tenvey, and Boimler, are like, "You said you didn't want to go. Well, I'm gonna help you guys get around." And they all whip out these maps on the pads. "It's okay. We're good. We'll be able to make it." And Mariner's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll go. I'll have to go talk to your friends." And we find out that she is gonna go. And, she says, "Well, I don't want to mess up what's going on there." It's like, "Don't worry, just be yourself." And I think that's where Jennifer tells her, or who says that she's bossy?
Oh.
Okay, well, somehow it happens
It was a Boimler?
someone says,
I can't remember who did.
"Don't worry, just don't act bossy." She goes, "I'm bossy? I'm not." And all three of them explode into laughter like, "Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, you are." That was really funny. They all laughed in her face, and she was, okay. All right, she didn't like that one. They transport down to DS9, and guess who greets them? Colonel Kira, which was really cool. And then, of course, Jax and Kira apparently had a prior relationship, not in the physical sense, but in the sense that they were resistance fighters.
Together. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it turns out that Jax and Kira have a lifelong admiration for one and the other. So much so that, well, one says, "Well, I'm alive because of that one." "Oh, no, I'm alive because of you." "Oh, no, I'm alive because you did this." And the stories get more and more and more. And as the episode progresses, they're fighting they're trying to one-up themselves, right, Michael? It's really out of control. And it was really kind of funny because they get mad at each other because each one believes the other one saved the other one's lives, and they're eternally grateful to each other, which was kind of cool. So,
but I saved you at that thing, but I did you over there.
Yeah. Oh, that didn't count because we were both held in a detention center. Oh, yeah. But they got away, so whatever. It was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that the Karama are showing up, and as they land on DS9, they're like, "How is it that these Alpha Quadrant savages won the war?" I thought that was funny. The Karama are trading people from the Delta Quadrant. The whole mission of this episode is they're trying to expand trade with the Delta Quadrant. And the Karama were in several episodes of DS9. I think one of them was Starship Down, a very famous episode. And they were in another one, but they only do what the Dominion lets them. And Quark doesn't want to have anything to do with them. Turns out that he now has 21 different restaurants or bars.
Something like that, yeah. Has a franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's franchised it throughout the whole quadrant. So people are coming up to Quark and he's signing autographs and stuff, but he's charging them for it.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
Which, okay, here it is. There's 21 franchises across the Federation. We see Morn is still there. And then Boimler walks in and says, "I thought Dobble was illegal." And we actually see Boimler at his best in this episode. He loves Dobble, and he's good. And he's cleaning out the casino. And first they accuse him of cheating, and he's not. He's whatever, and he's cleaning out the casino, and everyone's losing their mind in the casino that they're going to go broke because he's just winning and winning and winning. And it turns out that at the very end they're trying to sucker him for a certificate of buying stuff. Well, maybe you don't want the dirty latinum. And he really throws the attendant for a loop when he says, "What am I going to do with latinum? We don't use latinum in the Federation." And the look that the Ferengi gives him, he's like, "I've been shitting in my pants all this time, and you're not even going to take the latinum?" That was kind of funny. And Boimler in this episode, surprisingly, I had not seen this type of Boimler before, huh, Michael?
Well, it might have something to do with him seeing himself. No, sorry. That was the other character.
That was Rutherford.
Yeah, it was Rutherford. I was thinking that was. I said, no, that was Rutherford. Yeah, it was different, but it's good to see a different side of him. And maybe it was because certain other people weren't around because they were at the salon.
Mariner. Yeah, he just kept on winning. Even when there was a power loss, he kept on winning. It was really funny. And he was playing it just because he thought it was illegal. And he had a chance to play. Rutherford, he's just happy to be at DS9. And he says, oh, I want to go to the second level. And then Tendi meets another Orion. And this Orion, yeah, he is hardcore Orion Syndicate, trying to impress Tendi. He got a religious exemption for some tool that Orions use to steal stuff. That was funny. And it turns out, right, Michael? What was he? Where was he from?
Oh, what state was it?
He was adopted by
he was adopted.
parents, and he lives in Cincinnati. And the only thing he learned about Orions, because there was no one there to check him, was from a book that had boobs on it. Like, what? What? Did you catch that? I did. Yeah. On the second one, I was like, oh, it had boobs on it. Okay, that was funny. I swear that sounds like it was beyond raw. No, seriously, right, Michael? I was like, I hear it right the first time, and apparently I did. So that was funny. The guy's name is Besk. He's just a talker. He's trying to impress people to think that he's an Orion, but it turns out that Tendi is a real Orion. And part of the Syndicate too. Tendi was awesome in this episode. It was really good because the negotiations failed because Quark doesn't want to do anything. Well, it turns out that Quark stole some technology from Karama, and the Karama want to take him back because he stole the technology. And Tendi and Rutherford and Best are able to stop the ship and keep them from taking Quark because he wasn't being kidnapped. He was being arrested for stealing Karama technology. And it was really cool how Tendi actually saves Quark. They're able to make a deal at the very end, which Quark is unhappy about because he loses most of his profits. And as the captain says, aren't you happy? You're not in prison? And he's like, yeah, but I have more money. That was the look he gave. So the hijinks were really funny. It was really cool. We saw a side of Tendi, which was really absolutely awesome. And we found out, as I alluded to it earlier, that when Jennifer and Mariner went to the salon, they're stuck-up preppies, aren't they, Michael? They're like college kids. And Mariner's the only one that went dressed in her uniform. I think everyone was either casual or in their PJs. I thought it was a pajama party, right?
Well, maybe that's what they call a salon then. I don't know.
Yeah. So you had all these girls in the episode, and then what was really funny was the first thing that they're going to do is, oh, well, we're going to start off our evening by doing blah, 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 this. And then Mariner's like, this is candle making. Oh, she's, I'm out of here. She's like, no, you can't leave. Well, it turns out that Jennifer was hoping to get the real Mariner. And the real Mariner didn't show up because she wants the thing to work with Jennifer. So Mariner was on her best behavior because she implies that something's going on between the two, right, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
She says, I don't want to mess this up. What's going on between us?
And I don't want to, how did she put it? Like, I didn't want to offend your friends or something in that vein. And so she was on her best behavior. And
what was Jennifer's
lo and
line?
behold, lo and behold, it was like, but I wanted you basically to rip something on them.
I wanted you to put them in their place. And the minute that happens, they lose power. And then the idiots are like, oh, it's getting claustrophobic. We just lost power a few seconds ago. What the hell's the matter with you? And he's, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I am getting claustrophobic. And then Mariner says, you morons, you have candles burning. They're sucking up the oxygen. And then the one who was running the party says, you can't ruin my salon. He says, well, did you know that people who are unconscious breathe a lot less oxygen?
Oh, that was so good.
It was funny. And then she's, well, you're not going to... Oh. She phasered her. And she starts phasering everyone. It was kind of funny. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's assault. But it was funny because after some time we come back and both Jennifer and Jennifer telling Mariner, we're the only ones that have been phasered. Don't you think it's going to look odd? And Mariner was like, yeah, you're right. So she puts a phaser to them both. And just as she phasers them, they turn and they kiss each other. And that was it. That's the thing I'm making a big deal out of because I'm an old guy. I thought it was funny. I made my daughter laugh when I put replay. When the two girls
just one replay, Roger?
It was only one replay because my daughter died laughing. Oh my God, it was funny. But Tendi does feel uncomfortable because she says she didn't want the other guys to see how she was, and Rutherford is losing his mind. He says, this is who you are. And Rutherford's accepting because Tendi likes Rutherford. There's no doubt. And even though he doesn't remember anything from the first season, which was traumatic, her whole thing was, we get to be friends all over again, which is really cool. And I don't know if you guys saw the previous episode. Did you, Lord Dick? The one where Rutherford...
I don't think I've watched it since The Crystals.
Oh, okay. The last episode was really good. Michael, what'd you think of the one before? I already talked about it. So
yeah, we kind of talked about it.
Oh, you were on with me then.
I was not, no.
Oh. Okay.
No, you were with, I'm not sure who you were with, but that might have been one of your, that might have been your, I thought you were on with Richard, but maybe not. But anyway, no, I enjoyed that one. And I think that's the one when Rutherford had his problems.
Yes.
The mirror episode.
Yes, which is really good. Richard, if you haven't seen the last one, it was impressive.
Well, I haven't caught up, and now that you're discussing it, especially with the Deep Space Nine caravan, I will watch it. But I've been busy taking time to catch up on Lords of the Rings and House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
absolutely. There are things that you don't. Anyway, but right now I'm caught up with everything.
Okay,
as far as Rings and Dragons go, I'm
well. Why
up.
don't I check out because I have to get up early and
I need your score. What'd you think of the episode? I gave it a B-. Hear all, trust nothing.
I give it a B.
Okay, it was a fun episode, folks. There's a lot of nostalgia in there, but it's not nostalgia just for nostalgia. It was fun. It was creative. My daughter did lead me to believe that it was like, wow, like a super. No, it was a good episode. It was a good, and that's what I would humbly suggest to everyone. It was a fun episode.
I think she liked the salon.
I'm gonna have to ask her what she did like about it, but she was laughing with me, which was really fun. But all right, Michael, thank you for that. I appreciate it, young man, and we are gonna go ahead and move forward. And,
okay, everyone enjoy, and we'll see you all on Wednesday night when we have William B. Davis.
Yeah, and
from X-Files / Upload.
Yeah, this Wednesday, folks, William B. Davis. So we're looking forward to 6 p.m. Pacific time on this network. So we'll see you guys.
Take it easy.
All right. So
good seeing you,
Michael. All right. So we are now going to go to Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, the episode Udun, episode 6. Wow. Since I have you on, do you want to go over the episode step by step or just get into it? What did you
just
think of the
bring something up so my memory will kick in.
Okay. we see the very beginning where Adar, the character, that evil guy, plants seeds, and we learn that it is an elfin way of, before the battle, you plant life, which the Adar plants seeds in defiance of death. That's what elves do prior to a battle. And then he talks to says, "My children, we've accomplished much, but tonight one more trial awaits us. We do this as brothers and sisters, and if we do this, we will be free to claim these lands as ours." And they go right up and they enter the tower where the Southlanders are supposed to be, and it's empty. Turns out that it's a trap. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember now. I remember it now that you're. But yeah, I mean, you had to suspect something. Just not going to walk in and it be empty. So I mean, but it was a pretty good trap to start off with.
It turns out to be, and of course, spoilers and all that stuff, folks. We are talking about the episode. This is Udun Part 6. The end of the tower. It's empty. Obviously, it's a trap, and they set them up big time. It turns out that Arondir is the only one that's up there. And all of them that went up to the tower get ambushed. And not only ambushed, they pretty much get taken out. What they did is they led them up to the tower, basically go up there, trap them there, and drop the top. Basically, the whole structure is brought down. And the rest of the orcs are on their way up, and they get taken out as well. But Adar survived. Little rat bastard.
Yeah, he was able
as
to.
Some of the other ones did. So we switch to a view that they're getting the city ready for the actual strike when it's going to happen. Then we switch to the Numenor ships at sea. Isildur is feeding the horses, and then he eventually finds Galadriel on deck. And Galadriel seems to have a recognition about him, and he says, you look like your father. And Isildur says, "Well, I'm told that I look more like my mother."
Yep.
And then he says, "So what happened to your mother?" And Elendil, the dad, shows up, and he says, well, actually, in the whole conversation, they're talking about the fact that she sees land. He says, "Well, I can't see land. Is it because of your eyes?" "Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been able to see land for at least an hour now."
But didn't he actually say it like he already knew that she did? Because he knew that. The way I got it was that he delivered it as though, yeah, but you probably already can see land. Probably about a half hour ago. He goes, "No, it's actually been an hour."
Okay.
To me, I mean, I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just trying to make sure I have it straight in my head too. But I thought he already knew that she could probably see it already because of, being an elf.
And Richard and buddy, brother, you are not correcting me in any way. We're talking this through, and I appreciate that you had that view, and you're probably more right on. The way I interpreted it was the way I said it, and it's probably correct the way you said it. Now,
It's just the same.
And thank you for that. In that same scene, Elendil then shows up just as the sun is rising, and he says something to the effect, "While we sail into the morning, heading to the east, it's odd because even though the sun is rising, it feels like it's actually the coming of night." So the whole theme of darkness. I've talked about this in other programs, folks, how writers, storytellers use the imagery of the rising sun, a new day, hope, whatever. You've seen The Lord of the Rings, right, Lord Dick? Of course you have.
Yes. Well, yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it.
The scene where the Rohirrim show up at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, just as they're striking, even King Theoden says, "We do this as the sun is rising." Even though he believes they're all going to die. They only have 6,000 horses. They're going to do it because they're going to do it. But they're going to die. He says, "Doesn't matter what we face. We're going in there. We're going to F them up as best we can." But ruin awaits us. But the imagery of the sun rising, even King Theoden writes it. There's a famous movie that you and I grew up with, and it's Blue Thunder. How well do you remember that movie, Lord Dick? Okay, but you did see the movie, right?
Okay, I can see bits and pieces flying through my brain. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. There's the scene where she has the video of what they recorded in that hotel room, and she gets stopped by LAPD on the bridge. And she's getting, it's like, oh, it's over. They got her and they got the video. And all of a sudden you switch, coming up the river is the Blue Thunder, and behind it, the sun. It's that imagery. The imagery evokes a new day, hope. We got a chance. And here he's talking about that, the whole idea that, why is it that I think I see darkness coming? Wow, that's a big deal, because we actually do know what happens later on. So they switch a scene a little bit later, and they're showing the map where they have to go, and they're just coming into the coast, and they're like, okay, well, we got to get over here. So we're going to have to sail a day inland and then ride for a day to get where we need to. So we're 2 days away. So now we know. That's how quick it can get there. Excuse me. And then we get to Arendir. He has that thing, which we really don't know what it is yet. What do they refer to it as? A sheath or something?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't even know if they've given it a name, but he's actually trying to destroy it. And he's pounding at it with this technology, and it doesn't work. It fails. He is not able to destroy that thing. And
I don't know what he called it, but yeah, he was hammering away on it. And wasn't he being spied upon too at the same time? They showed that quick scene of someone watching him. I don't know if that meant anything or not, but
I think it was Theo.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed. Nobody was supposed to know where he was taking that thing to.
Right, and he tells Bronwyn that even you cannot know.
Exactly. Wow.
Theo did, because and that goes to a little bit later. I'm going to jump to that right now. The reason why she couldn't know is because he was prepared. He was committed, Richard? Because there's a scene later that he's the only one that knows, so he thinks. He's like, let them go. And when he's talking to Adar, he says, let them go and I'll consider it. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. He starts impaling these people, and he's not talking. He's not going to give it up. He doesn't want to give it to him, and he's not going to give it to him, even when they have the knife to Theo and the knife to Bronwyn and everyone else. That was scary. He was prepared to take everyone's lives. Wow.
Yes.
And then Theo says, a moment.
Try to call timeout.
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Of course, Bronwyn gives her speech after Adar says this sheath will have to be hidden. And then Arondir provides the plan, which is really a good plan. And he says, once the sun sets, remember to do your part. I've seen armies smaller than this. He was referring to the city. I've seen smaller being able to smite bigger armies. So remember, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do, but we always fall back to the keep as our last. And then they give instruction to Theo. Bronwyn, the mom, says, you're gonna be in the keep. That's where you're going to stay. So right before he goes, Theo asks Bronwyn, his mom, hey, will you tell me what you used to tell me when I was a small child? To put me to bed? And she pauses, and he says, please tell me. And she says, in the end, the shadow is a small and passing thing. There is light in high beauty, forever beyond its range. Find the light, and the shadow will not find you. Pretty heavy imagery for what we know, what we've heard in the Lord of the Rings. Shadow, evil, and you remember in the Lord of the Rings, the movie, the shadow extends from Mount Doom so the orcs can move forward.
Right.
So it's funny how she's talking about that. It says, forever beyond its range, find the light and the shadow will not find you. So, wow. pretty strong stuff for what's coming later on, of course, in this series. And then he says, "Are you ready?" "No, are you?" That's the elf and Bronwyn talking. And then he shares with her the tradition of the elves. So this is the first time that we get a hint of what Adar is. For those of us that know, we know he's a fallen elf because he does the exact same thing. He says, there's a tradition. We plant new life in the defiance of death. And he says to her, you, me, and Theo, we're going to make it out of this. And she says, promise me. And he says, yes. Well, he doesn't say yes, but I promise. The sun sets.
He says, okay.
Yeah, he does. The sun sets. They're ready. They await. And over the hill, the light of the army appears. The battle begins. An impressive battle, huh, Richard? They really were ready for them. They ambushed them, butchered them. It's a pitched battle, but they win. They win.
Right.
They kind of won. Maybe it looks like a little bit too easy. And
you always got to suspect that, too.
Yeah. Their plan worked perfectly. And as we all know in real life, the plans don't work like that. And it worked.
Very rarely.
Yeah. The battle was won. And then they start to realize that there were orcs there. There was a big, mean mother effer.
Oh, my gosh. That dude. There was just nothing. Yeah. That was like the Hulk of orcs. I mean,
yes.
But yeah. And what they find later is, whoo.
Okay. Well, hold that quick thought. There was a big hulking orc, and then there were other orcs that we did see, but apparently there weren't too many because one of the orcs looked up and said, well, they had to pay with blood. And we know what that means. To join, you had to kill someone by paying with blood. So I don't know how it happened, but Richard, tell everyone what happens next.
I don't remember.
They were humans.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what happened next.
Yeah.
They started unmasking them and found out they were humans, like you said, which was a big shock because I didn't expect it. I did not. Did you expect that, Raj?
No, I did not expect it. On the second viewing, I'm like, okay, bastards, they got us good because when the orcs show up, there's sound, there's music. There's a lot of that.
The whole
that didn't happen.
The whole scene is set up.
Yes,
and then I guess that, and of course, that accounts for like we were earlier, like we said, but it's just too easy. Well, it was too easy because they weren't killing orcs; they were actually killing people, and it was a big shocker. I mean, usually I can see things coming.
Yeah,
especially when I was, but this one I just thought, oh my gosh. Okay, that explains it.
All right, Richard, when they pulled the mask off, the look that the human had, were they under some power or was he just dead? I got the impression that it was like it was a glazed look on his face, like they were under the control. Did you get that?
I just thought he was dead.
Okay.
I thought that added. Well, I guess since that's what I thought, and when that was exposed, it kind of added to the trauma. Well, not the trauma, but the surprise of it too. I mean, like, oh, they killed their own people. I mean, if they would have been in a trance and they were still alive, that would have meant, okay, they stabbed their own people, but maybe they're still alive and they can get them out of that trance. But I guess at first I thought they were dead because I thought that would be like the ultimate scene, them actually killing people that they may have known.
All right, appreciate that, Richard.
What did you think? So you thought they were under a spell then?
Possibly, Raj? Yes.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Because how did they all turn on their people just so easily?
And I thought that the orcs made them do it because they were threatening their lives or their families. I guess that's where that would be my go-to, since that's such an old plot device anyway. It's like, okay, if you don't go in there and do this, well, we're going to kill your kids, your wife, we're going to wipe out your family. And maybe I was reading too much into it. Maybe they did put him in a trance. I don't know, but I know that they went in and got slaughtered.
Yeah, they found out because the elf, oh my goodness, Arendir sees the blood and he wipes it. It's red. Then he goes to another one. It's red, and he shows it to Bronwyn, and that's when they take the mask off, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Well, yeah, that was one of your first.
Our own.
Yeah, that was one of your. Yeah, and it's like, oh my. Then he's realizing what they had done too, until even before he lifted up the mask. I mean, yeah, that was that hit the nail on the head. But
yeah, because when he was fighting that Hulk one, when he stabbed it several times and it bled on him, it was like that dark.
Yeah,
dark
it was black as
it was black, wasn't it?
It was black as and I thought that Hulk was gonna throw him in the well, but luckily he got saved. But still, that thing probably could have wiped him out by himself. I mean, that thing was so huge and just wandering through, like, get out of my way, you flea. Yeah, here's a bunch of fleas to me.
And he stabbed it in the eye, and he stabbed it in the foot and in the leg, and it was still having its way with him.
It wasn't giving up, no.
Yeah. Well, as soon as they realized we were fighting our own, then the real attack begins. They get ambushed, arrows come flying, and almost everyone gets hit, and that's it. They've got to retreat into the keep. It's done. And then it takes a little while. Bronwyn has to have the arrows ripped out of her and sealed with blood. And all of a sudden, one opens the window, and they're right outside. It's like, holy crap. And before you can say anything, boom, they start slamming their way in. And I think it was over in 1 minute, huh, Richard?
It didn't take long. I mean, you talk about the last 20 minutes of House of Dragon. This was like the 30 seconds. It's like, that was, boom, we're done. Okay. It's been fun.
Yeah, they all fell back to the keep, and they came out of the forest, and it was done. And then we get a cut scene that the Numenorians are hauling ass, running across the field, but they're traveling. So they break in, they take the keep. Adar enters and demands that thing, whatever it is.
Right.
And Theo ends up saving his mother, as we talked about it a moment ago, because the elf Arendir was not going to give it up. He preferred that everyone else would die. He understood the evil. He knew what it was, but they were going to be all dead. Theo saves his mother by giving up the sheath, and then he feels something, and he says, all right. He calls Wolgrid, and he says, I want you to do something. And then within moments, the Numenorians arrive and pretty much kick the shit out of all of them.
Yeah. They cleaned up after. They said, okay, you guys, thanks for dwindling each other down. Here we come.
Yeah, the Numenorians just beat the crap out of not the villagers. They saved the villagers. And during the battle, there's a moment where the queen orders, she sees the seal door. She's like, all right, go do your duty, stable boy.
Yeah.
And go in there, and he turns out that he's able to save someone. And Galadriel then chases Adar. Halbrand is able to bring Adar down and skewers his hand because he knows who Adar is. And he asks him, do you remember me? And Adar's like, nope. I don't know who you are. So there's something there that's going to get revisited later. Adar does not remember Halbrand, but Halbrand kept Galadriel from killing him. And Galadriel keeps Halbrand from killing him. And then later on it switches where Galadriel's about to kill him, and Halbrand says, no, gotta keep him alive. Because Galadriel speaks of the first orcs. She says, look, you were an elf Morgoth tortured you guys, made you turn, and you are one of them. So where's Sauron? And I think he says, Sauron? And then it was almost like the fascist was repeating. He says, you mean Sauron? The one that was sent out to heal the world by uniting it. Uniting it? That's conquering and killing, you dumb bastard.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Jeez.
It was almost like it was like a propagandist. And she says,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
What?
And
You've been reading too much propaganda. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, where is Sauron? And he goes into that whole thing and then finally says, look, your kind was a mistake, but we're going to keep you alive. And, we need to know where's Sauron. He says, Sauron's dead. She said, bullshit.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, he's not dead. So she says,
No.
we're going to keep you alive. And, we're going to make you suffer as you see all of your children die. And I'm going to be making sure that I'm going to be telling you in those pointed ears of yours, which I thought was rather racist, but, whatever.
Hey, how many times did McCoy call Spock that?
Yes, the pointy-eared devil, bastard,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then he asks him at the end, who are you? He asks Halbrand, and he doesn't answer. But, Galadriel then tells Halbrand, thank you for pulling me back. And then they see the queen wishes to see Lord Halbrand. They're at the victory celebration, and the queen introduces him to Bronwyn, and this Lord Bronwyn. And then, are you the king we were promised? He doesn't wanna, but he eventually says yes. All hail to the true king of the Southlands. And then they start paying attention. The kid, Theo, remember, he has some connection. He got burned by it, didn't it? So he's got it, and the minute he's given it, he does this. It's like, okay, come on. I need my fix. Come on, do what you do. And it doesn't do anything. And he opens it up, and it's a what? A hammer or an axe?
Oh gosh, wasn't it a hammer?
I guess it's a hammer. And
It wasn't Thor's hammer, but it was a hammer.
It was a hammer. And then we see Waldrig. He's at that imagery, whatever, that thing we had seen for several episodes now. And he's got the blade attached to some stick or whatever, sticks it to the ground, and he turns it like a key or a valve, right? And he lets the waterworks fly. And now we know what they had been doing. This is where geology comes into play, folks. That tunnel that they were doing, it was for water that led into the magma chamber. And this, folks, this is a geologic term. We saw a phreatic explosion. That's exactly what it was. So all the water in there turned to steam. Boom! Do you know what mountain we were looking at there, Lord Dick?
Well, it wasn't St. Helens.
Nope.
Which one was it, Raj?
We just saw the creation of Mount Doom.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We just saw how Mount Doom becomes Mountain Doom. And, yeah. Mount Doom is born. And that was the episode. So what did you think of this episode?
I liked it. I mean, there was I did. I did like it. It moved the things ahead a little bit better. I thought it was one of the better episodes because there were things going on and more clues left and some things answered and visiting more of the mythology. And plus, I guess now knowing that it was Mount Doom, that's even a bigger significance now because we know how that plays out in the future.
We also learn that Adar is not Sauron, or at least maybe they got me going. He's not Sauron. Maybe he is. I don't think he is. I believe Adar is something else.
No, he didn't look nothing like Christopher Lee.
No, he did not. Oh no, that's Sauron.
Oh yeah, that's well, but
Yeah, that's
could-
good. I like that. We see the beginning of Mount Doom. Now we know what the whole. Now that thing is a key to the dam, and that's what it is. Last time we saw a dam in Middle Earth, Sauron got his whole place flooded. But yes, everything's starting to move forward. We now are seeing what is going to happen, and we're eventually going to see the forging of the One Ring. But that is still way down the road. Look, this episode, I think it was a lot better. There was a lot more movement. The story did advance very well. I understand that the Numenorians knew where they were going, but it was pretty damn convenient as to when they arrived. Okay, this was the ride of the Rohirrim again. So it was nice seeing the Numenorians kick the crap out of them, but I thought that was my only negative thing. I saw it coming from 2 episodes ago that they were going to help them out, but it was okay. I was just like, it just didn't do it for me. But I did enjoy the episode. I did give this episode a B because the story did advance. We see what they had been doing for the first 5 episodes and why. And we learn that Adar is twisted completely, that he thinks Sauron is good.
yeah, and that's how things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that implies to real life as well. But yeah, so
Yeah.
he's been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, hell yeah. So, what was your rating for this episode?
I don't know. I guess I'll give it same as you would be, because I enjoyed this a little bit more than the others. So I'll give it a B.
Yeah, I got mad because I got suckered in the battle. Like, when they got, it was too easy. I got mad myself. I'm like, oh man, son of a. I got mad at myself because.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should give it an A for fooling me like that. Oh, come on. Okay, you get an A. Kudos to you. It won't happen again.
Yeah, yeah. I like that line of thinking. It's interesting how Arendir promised to get them through it, knowing that he was prepared to die. I wonder if that is now. I wonder if Bronwyn is going to bring that up to him. Dude, you were willing to sacrifice all of us. Is that why you didn't want me to know where this thing was? I think there's going to be ramifications of that. She realized. Because remember, she's looking at him.
But I don't know if that's something she will let go. Like, she knows it, but something she won't say because, well, it's why? Or she might. I guess it'll be interesting to see if that does happen, Raj, like you say.
I think that's going to come to play later.
I don't rule it out. Because maybe she will hold it in for a while, then eventually she'll have to spit it out like, look, I can't do it anymore or whatever, So, yeah, let's find out.
Or another scene in the future where he says, we're going to get through this, I promise. And then she'll say, really?
Yeah. Give him that look like, I don't, well, let me stand over here.
It was like, I don't mean to be a dick.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I heard that one before. Okay, we're being okay. Hey, who knows? It could be that, or we'll see.
It'll be something similar to that. Maybe might not be that exact wording, but she's gonna have to have some kind of response. Like, okay, I'll just be way over here then.
Yeah. Now, I think this is the second episode where we don't see anything of the hobbits.
No, we don't. We did not. You're right. We didn't see them at all. We didn't even, and we didn't see the alleged guard off.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? No, hold on a minute. Oh, no. This is episode 6. Oh, wait. No. Actually, we did see. a little bit of the Hobbits
Oh,
on
did?
the last episode. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not sure if I read this or if someone commented, which I guess I read it in the chat room, where you know how they're doing this movement, these hobbits,
Right.
and they have these big wheels on their carts. Someone said, "Do you think that those big wheels eventually form their doors?"
Well, if they're into being green, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. If they are going to be,
But why? But why not? If they get to where they're going, why not what are you going to do with them? Stack them up, or are the, I? You know, I guess the thing about the hobbits is that it's no one left behind unless we leave you behind. You know,
yeah, dude.
no one left behind unless we leave you behind. Then
Yeah,
you're really behind, and then well, you know. But
yeah,
that's it's either a homage or it's a good catch.
yeah.
I mean, as
We'll
far
see.
as the wheels go, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think I read it somewhere on the internet. So we'll see.
Because I didn't think of it when I saw those big wheels. I didn't associate it with being doors, but why not? No, now that you mention it, hey, maybe if you can be.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see that happening. So all right, fair enough. Do you have some more thoughts on this episode? Because look, folks, there's a lot of action in this episode. There's no doubt. I think that's why I give it a higher score. I just the imagery, I did appreciate it, but look, okay. Forgive me, Lord Dick, and this is what I want to say. Look, I did enjoy this episode, but it wasn't, a super bam awesome episode because it felt a little forced in a way. But I still did like it, and this is what I mean. You know that Rogue One is one of my favorite movies, and if you didn't, you do know now. And Richard, one of the biggest moments for me is when the Rebel fleet shows up. Dude, I was in the theater, my daughters were with me, and I remember turning to Gmo and saying, "Oh, someone's about to get whooped." It's
Right.
it's the moment the heroes arrive and the tables turn. Okay. I really genuinely get emotional when the Rebel fleet shows up. And then Blue Squadron's going for the deck. Dude, it's a pitched battle on Scarif, and Blue Squadron shows up and they're all trapped there, but they're not giving it's the stuff that you and I grew up with. The tales, the heroic tales and stuff. This is who we are. We grew up with this. In The Rise of Skywalker, at the very end, when the entire galaxy shows up, first of all, they had already given that scene away in the preview. So when you finally see it, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like no one's going to show up. No one's going to show up." We all remember the teaser.
Right.
We saw that fleet. So they gave it away, and that's when I think they blow the teasers. And I'm kind of equating it this way. It's like we've already seen the Ride of the Rohirrim when they show up to save the village and stuff. I guess it felt like they were trying to imitate it a little bit. So it was a bit of a I knew they were coming. It was there, and yeah, I guess that's
well. That could also go back from an earlier comment by someone else that was talking about the writing and trying to get the pacing down, and if that's the so that could also be a fault of that as well. That that could be just part of the writing too, because you really don't want to give away. I mean, showing that. Going back to the trailer, I mean, you really don't want to give away the ending or give away one of the key scenes. I mean, you want to leave that. I mean, you want to lead up to the scene and then cut away so people want to go see how it ended in the movie theater. Not, oh, I watched the trailer, so I've seen the movie. And sometimes you've watched trailers where the trailer seems like it's as long as the movie. So it's like, I don't need to see it. They just showed me the end of it. So. But it could be I don't know. I see what you're saying. I can understand what you're saying, but it was still a decent episode.
Yes, and I still give it a high score, a B. It's nothing to sneeze at. A lot of stuff is going on. There's a lot of action. There's no doubt they're spending money on this, and I am invested. It is. Now, your
Well,
quick
I guess I am too. I'm on episode 6, and
yeah.
so I guess I'm along for the ride. I guess you dragged me along. So
I'm sorry, but
no, that's fine.
I'm
It's
glad you
fine.
are.
I think I was going to watch it too, but I probably wasn't going to watch it this soon. I was probably going to
Okay.
wait for it to run its course and just binge it. But this is fine. I don't mind. I like talking about it now. I mean, it's cool to watch something and be able to talk with your friends about it afterwards, like you used to do when you come in the morning
Yeah.
at school and talk to your friends about, hey, did you see Happy Days last night? Well, that might create a lot of people, but just saying,
Yes,
you know what I
and
mean.
even at work, Richard. Even at work, man.
Oh yeah,
I
work too. You say, hey
yeah,
man, did you see whatever? Or
dude, what was
did you see
on?
the X-Files with William
Yeah.
D. Davis? Because
Oh, pinch and transition. That was well done. William B. Davis, ladies and gentlemen, this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Looking forward to it. Folks, he was on the X. Actually, look him up. Wow. It's a lot of stuff. But he's on the He's on the Amazon Prime series Upload. And if you have Amazon Prime, check him out. He's in both series or both seasons. And he has a significant role. At first, well, doesn't look like he does. But damn, does he get it right for allegedly not knowing anything. But it's good. I love what he does. And I'm so looking forward to being able to speak to him. And Richard, I'm hoping you're going to enjoy be on with that.
as of this moment, I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
Yes.
Actually, I'm looking forward to all of the ones that are coming up if I'm invited.
Yeah, you are. You are a host on this network. Folks, I want to very quickly give a quick little shout out to our upcoming guest, as of course, you know, Jesse Arthur Carroll, who was on with us talking House of the Dragon. He is a voiceover actor and done a lot of stuff. He's going to be on October 17th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's upcoming and already booked, folks. This will be his 4th visit with us on the network. John Billingsley, you know him. You've heard the episodes. He's going to be on with us. He is wild. Come ready to go. Folks, I've always joked that with John Billingsley, I get to be a fan in the episode too. Because very quickly with John Billingsley, and he remembers this. It's amazing. The first episode, folks, he is so cool. He is so genteel. In the first 36 minutes of the episode, it is one of the suckier episodes I've ever had in my life. I'm trying to get through to John Billingsley. He's very polite. He's awesome, answering all the questions. He's a great soul. But it was hero worship. I couldn't make a connection. And I was like, man, I'm looking at the clock. Oh my God, he's still on with these painful 30 minutes, and he's still on. It's like, oh my God. So I went 15 yards back, saw my receiver out there, and I said, okay. I throw the Hail Mary. And the Hail Mary was, hey, so John, what was this whole thing about the FCC requirement, whatever? And at that moment, John Billingsley said something to the effect of, oh, yeah, what my buddy here, Raj, is talking about, why I have yet to call him a mother effing sea sucker. I'm not going to say the word right now because we're on the network, but what was effing hilarious, we're doing this on digital radio, so you can't see everyone's faces. My jaw drops, and I'm looking at the chat room because there's a 30-second delay. And I could see the moment that everyone heard John Billingsley's comment. The chat room exploded. Oh my God! John Billingsley just called Roger
Oh man!
Oh, I died laughing. And at that moment, we were just gone. And John Billingsley took over, and for the next hour, just regaled us, and it was just so awesome. Because I guess he was feeling us out too. He didn't know what he could do. And I basically said, hey, John, so what were you saying about swearing? I gave him the go-ahead, basically. And he just went wild. And people were calling in, and it was a blast. So about a year later, he commits to coming back on. And this is what's funny. It happens. I'm beginning my intro, and I'm like, hey, thanks for joining us. Hi, I'm Roger Noriega, and this is NDB Media, and just want to let you know this, and we want to get to, yeah, all right, Rod, shut up. And John Billings, he takes over. Oh, my God, he was awesome. He's like, yeah, all right, cut the crap, Raj. Let's just get to this. And for the next hour and a half, he regaled us. And then a year after that, or maybe a year and a half, 2 years, he came on again. And same thing. I was able to enjoy the interview just as much as everyone else. He's that much fun. And I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be video. So John likes to drink during the interviews.
Well, he's probably not the only ones that like to do that too.
Well, in the first interview, or I think it was the second, it was either the first or second interview, John says, hey, Roger, could you give me, and he called me Roger. It was funny. He called me Roger. He said, Roger, could you give me a minute? I got to fix my third martini. And that was my reaction. You're drinking? Well, shit, you're not going to be the only one to drink tonight. I got a bottle of peach wine, and sadly.
Well, I don't know how to take that. Do you drive your guests to drink?
All I can say is that.
Just kidding.
Not at all. On that episode, you can hear near the end of the episode.
Yeah, okay.
You
might have been you could tell that he partook.
Oh, no, he was great.
Oh, okay.
Roger was the one that was stupid.
Oh, you were. Oh, okay. I got you.
Everyone died laughing because they're like, oh, my God, Roger it was like he was stuttering. I was like,
right.
well, yeah, you know, it was kind of funny.
So now we know you can't hold your liquor. All right.
Actually, that was then. Apparently, I hold it real well now. I don't hold beer.
You've been practicing.
Yes, I hold beer very well.
Getting into Olympic shape.
Yeah, yes.
You hope to be ready for the games in Los Angeles is what you're hoping to.
I'm going to try. So, folks, here's what we're going to do. We are already 2.5 hours. I'm going to call it at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to do Star Wars, the review of Star Wars Episode 4, probably Tuesday, or I might combine it with the special Wednesday episode. So I'm probably going to. Oh no, Ass is on right on Tuesday.
As far as I know, yeah.
I apologize. So you know what? I may not have. I may do it on Wednesday. I may do episodes 4 and 5. It's just because we have spent 2.5 hours. He's not seen Andor right now anyway. So
no, I have not.
So I don't want to spoil it for him, but I think we're going to be talking Andor next week. We're just going to put it off. But for right now, Richard, is there anything else that you would like to talk about, young man?
No, I think we've covered everything that I had some knowledge of. So I'm fine.
Quite a bit of knowledge. Look,
and I just like to wish everybody to have a good week and a safe week, and leave it at that.
Yeah, let me tell you, it was a lot of fun, Richard. I want to thank you for making it. We had a lot of fun. Our guest, Jesse, was on with us too. I was shocked. I was told by Michael that he's a huge fan. He may join us. So I was lackadaisically logging in. And then I got to the screen that Richard knows what I'm talking about. And I look in and there's already people in here. And I'm like, holy shit, our guest is there. And we'll see if he's able to make it back. And it was fun. Ines, I'm sorry you weren't able to join us for the rest of the program. But thanks for being on with us. It's 2 weeks in a row. A lot of fun. So we'll see. We'll see. But for everyone else, Hope, thank you. Sarah, thank you. Valerie, thank you for your comments. And for everyone else, folks, we're going to be doing a few more episodes now that I'm back from vacation. So we'll see. But I want to thank Michael. I want to thank Jesse Arthur Carroll for joining us, as well as Richard. Thanks, buddy. Lord Dick. And this was fun, folks. It really is. I didn't think I would be doing Sunday night like this, and it is a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
I have fun doing it too.
And I thank you, Richard. Yes. And I appreciate your insight, buddy. And it's really cool. And we learn from each other because we interpret things, and sometimes someone else gets it right. And you're never correcting me.
Hopefully, between the two of us, we can get some of it right. Yeah.
Well, that is my hope. So we're good. All right, folks. Next Wednesday, William B. Davis on October 5th at 6 p.m. On a Monday, October 17th at 6 p.m., Jesse Arthur Carroll. And then, of course, John Billingsley on November 7th at 6 p.m., which is also Monday. So, yeah, looking forward to it, folks. It's going to be fun. And we have a lot. Michael has been doing incredible booking guests. The links are there. You can go on Facebook, Twitch TV, YouTube, and you can see them all. So we're really jazzed. Looking forward to it. We thank you all for watching, and let us see your porn. We want to see your Lord of the Rings items. We want to see your Ring of Power items. We want to see your Below Deck items, and we want to see your Star Wars Andor items. You know, I have my Game of Thrones one right here. I didn't use a cup today because I did not go to the market like an idiot. And I have my Lord of the Rings cup. That's the Tree of Gondor, the white tree. Well, the white tree of Numenor. Sorry. So, and for those that know the what the trees mean, I guess we're going to see some of that upcoming too, which is really cool. But all right, again, Richard, thank you. And did you want to do professionals? Well, for you later on today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I you mentioned it, so I mean, I'm up to it if you are.
Okay. It may be a little bit later. It's gonna be like 10 o'clock your time.
Okay.
Yeah, because scheduling for me is going to be a little difficult. I ask you to bear with us, folks, but it looks like the professionals will be on either at 6:30, or 7. We apologize, but it's going to be on tomorrow, and we'll see. All right, folks. That's Lord Dick. I'm Lord Roger, and Lord Michael, and Lord Jesse, as well as everyone else. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. And when you watch this one later, don't forget to click like on the episode, subscribe, and follow. It does help us out. We that's the help that we ask. Now, if you guys want to do the Patreon, you don't have to, but it's there. So anyway, just screw with you guys. We appreciate it. And it's real though, but we rarely ever put that out there. But if you want to stay up on everything that's happening on the network, check it out, ndbmedia.net. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, YouTube, but you find everything related to us right there at ndbmedia.net. And don't forget to catch all of our other stuff happening on blogtalkradio.com/ndbmedia. That's where all of our other items are, which there's a link right there. You can pause it to check it out. It's NDB Media. So, and twitter.com/NDB Media. You know, the fake social network. We're there too. Twitch.tv, NDB Media. I think we're there. And we have the NDB Sports on Twitter too, but just stick with ndbmedia.net. We love you guys. We'll see you guys on the other side. And may the white tree of Numenor guide you in the light and in the darkness. Peace and long life.
Good day.